know what I need to say to get all this free golf.
I wouldn't have paid. I don't know what you did wrong.
Yeah, Doug, you didn't sweet talk him.
I guess not. But I want to know what you say to get all this free golf.
Sister Patricia is not happy in the
Oh,
YouTube chat. Could this be any more childish and stupid? Nothing more pathetic than an 80-year-old saggy skin suit having a spat with a 40-year-old barback over the air.
Oh, did you get promoted at Angry Beaver?
He's a barback.
You got promoted. There's more money in that than bussing tables.
I thought he was.
Is that right? That's more money?
Yeah, I don't know what Pally's tipping him, so maybe nothing.
So what do you say to these courses when you call to get the free golf?
I really don't have to say anything. I say, hey, Kenny Strode here. Hey, Iggy. They know who I am.
Oh, baloney. Baloney.
Oh, wow.
Everyone knows.
I say
need to see
different. I
this
say
in
different things.
What, like what?
I'm not going to give my secret away. I just tell them I love the course. I'd love to come out and play it. I've heard great things about it. I talk golf on the radio all the time. As soon as I hear talk golf on the radio, I don't say I'll give you free spots or anything. I say, we talk a lot of golf on the show, and a lot of people have called in about your course. I'd love to come out and play. Oh, come out and play it. We'll take care of it. We want you to see it.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's put our golf where our mouths are.
Can you imagine?
I don't play a lot of golf courses that I don't know the person, though. I know most of the head pros at these courses.
How do you know them all? That's a reasonable question. How do you know all these pros?
First of all, I've been doing radio for 30 years. I did I did fairways and greens for 15 years. So we had golf pros on all the time, golf courses on all the time.
Yeah.
You get to meet people, you have connections, so you know people. Can I go play courses in Illinois if I wanted to?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Marcuso's out there.
Mark Marcuso.
I could call Cuz and I could go out there and play. Arlington Greens. There's places I can go play if I want to play. I'm not bragging. It's just it just shows that I've been in this business so long. That's one of the perks is I got to meet a lot of people. Not a lot of money, but I got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh. Nice.
Okay. Never worked for me.
So if people get upset about that, I think free golf. Well, so what? I'm sure that, all your years of these people working at McDonald's, I'm sure you get out of there with a double cheeseburger now and then, don't you?
Oh yeah, Burger King corporate knows me.
They do?
You got a lot of cheeseburgers?
Not in a good way. I've been written up there 3 times, so I was flagged on their watch list because they saw me. I think taking a bunch of chicken fries home.
How much? Like handfuls?
I was making.
That got all the way up to corporate?
Yeah, the third one was I actually made 3 stacks of pancakes. Like when I walked in there, like 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday, and I proceeded to just eat them and do absolutely nothing for like an hour and a half.
Oh well.
They saw that on the cameras.
I would think, yeah.
My buddy J Mac, who was my manager, sat me down and we got high and talked about how funny it was.
He didn't care?
No, nobody cared there, dude. It was a fun place to work.
I expect they have to expect a little of that. Employees eating a little something every now and then.
There got to be. Yeah, it's like egg costs. Like when eggs are sold, distributed to grocery stores, like 5% is already given back to the distributor. They know it's
for loss.
For loss.
Or stolen.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I'm here with Ryan Kelly, the HomeLoanExpert.com, and you are always looking for a way to help people out, and the Hero Loan VA is a perfect example of that.
Absolutely. That's how we give back to our military and their families. We close VA loans 21 days or less. Heck, I'd like to tell you 14 because we're doing them in 14 and less, but I can guarantee that 21 days or less on a VA loan. And you can buy a house with no money down. You can refinance and cash out up to 100% of your appraised value. Truly is one of the best programs out there. Get the loan that you deserve today at HeroLoan.com, the only way to VA.
Celebrate all your college and fantasy teams' Tully touchdowns this weekend with Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. May your team be swift and their aim be true. May the refs be forever in your favor and your whiskey always Tullamore Dew. Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, smooth sipping Irish whiskey, made exactly for game day moments like this. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by William Grant & Sons Incorporated, New York, New York. Please enjoy Tullamore Dew responsibly.
The Classic Car Show and Concert, September 25th at the Factory in Chesterfield, with performances by Jackal
Rain, I feel the heat burning through my shoes.
and Stephen Piercy from Rapt. Tickets for the concert on sale now. Got a classic car you want to show off? Vehicle registration is open now. The Classic Car Show and Concert, a day of fun for the family and a night of rock.
Find out how to get tickets at thefactorystl.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. We are in our Michelob Ultra Studios in the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, Action Jackson, Virgin Pringle Sauce Boss, and the Plowhawk with you on a program that solicits your involvement by texting into our engineer design facilities. Text inbox 314-881-TMA5, by calling into the Steve Schmidt Kia of North County phone lines, by emailing in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. And how do you do, Doug? The Cardinals are coming. Tra-la, tra-la.
Well, I rolled over and went to bed after they fell behind 5-1. I said, well, that'll about do it.
I know. I said, wake up, they're rallying.
No, you weren't there. And I said, that's going to about do it. And then I wake up and grab my phone this morning. I said, they did what now?
That's right.
Never give up on this club. This club has grit, moxie, and heart when they play the Nationals. You're forgetting about the guile and the moxie. This club isn't going to quit.
But
Not under Ollie, they're not going to quit.
But Doug, you talk about people leaving early. You fell asleep before the game ended.
I was in bed already.
Man, that's tough.
I was drowsy. I'm an old. I'm a borderline fat. I need my rest.
Hold on, because you view yourself as a fat, you have to go to bed?
Oh, yeah, I'm a borderline fat.
Well, especially if you walk up a flight of stairs before bed.
Oh, and I did.
That puts you out.
Yes, that's plenty of exercise.
But those 4 runs were so casual. Like, it seemed so casual how they did it.
It seemed casual how they did. That's how good this club is.
There were no
That's how little they refused to quit. It could have been a formal comeback. It wasn't. This was a casual comeback.
Casual comeback.
I love that. That should be a shirt. But yeah, I that was amazing. That was unbelievable.
You know, I was not watching initially, and I saw that they had 2 on and nobody out, and then I flipped over. Because, again, every time I flip over to Spectrum, it buffers every minute or so when I'm watching Valleys. So it's a bit of a painful exercise to do it. And so I have to prepare myself for the buffering process and then trying to flip forward to keep the stream going for whatever reason. But anyway, and then I'm like, ooh, I got to bet on this. I thought they'd be plus 1,000 to 1,500, but they were only plus 600 when it was 5-1, which means they were 6-1 on your money, down 5-1, which struck me as odd. Granted, there were 2 on. And I saw the whole thing after the 2 runners were on, and you just felt like they were going to win, which is what I was talking about. If they lost 6-0 on Monday, it was weird for them to lose a game and just kind of do so in a standard way.
Casual.
That is the casual comeback.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate it.
They keep grinding, and I like that they're not even talking about the Brewers. I mean, the Brewers lost yesterday. They're 9.5 back, and they shouldn't be. They're talking about catching the Braves. They're talking about catching the Mets. It's going to be very difficult to catch them. You know, if you look at a team that's 5 back of like the Yankees or 5 up on the Rays, I don't think people are expecting the Rays to catch them or the Blue Jays to catch them. They're 6.5 back. That's the math the Cardinals have, except they're chasing 2 teams. They have to beat both those teams, and the Mets have a really favorable schedule. Braves somewhat all right, and they only play each other 3 times. But hell, man, it's so important to get past that wild card and get the buy into the NLDS, not just because you're avoiding a 3-game series, because you can set your pitching. And that would be ideal if they could do it. Adam Wainwright was talking about it. I don't know if we have any sound from it. I know we have the sound of the Nationals broadcaster. They were excited about the the game-winning.
Were they?
Yeah, take a listen.
Oh, I'd like to hear it. Hit the lever, Pills.
And he's going to line one to left. Going back, Alex Cole! It's off his glove, and the Cardinals are going to win the game. What an effort.
That is one of the most passive-aggressive.
He tried to catch it. Give him that. He tried to catch it.
I saw the ball off the bat, and I go, oh, son of a bitch, he's going to catch it. And then I'm like, I don't think this is going to be caught.
Hey, Nelson Cruz it?
And it's funny, Nelson Cruz was on the field.
Yeah.
Or at least he's in the dugout. I know he started last night. I don't know if he was out there.
Is that Bob Carpenter doing that?
Yeah. When you're 41 games under 500 and 38 and a half out of first place, do you really even bother to get upset when your team loses?
I saw I don't know who was catching at that point from Attitude, but just kind of standing there. And in my mind, I'm thinking he's probably not upset. He's probably glad it's not going to extra innings. Deep down.
He's thinking, what did I do at the plate tonight? Yeah, I got a couple of hits. Okay, I'm good.
Should have a spot on the roster next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 48 and 89 for Natitude. That is the worst record you will find in the game of baseball. And, it's even worse than the A's. So the Cardinals lost game one of that series. I wonder what the numbers would have been to say the Cardinals would win the series after losing that first one. I would imagine they were probably an underdog to do that.
Well, they do it again today, too, don't they? Play him again?
Yeah, Adam Wainwright start.
Yeah.
How do you do? Josiah Gray, Adam Wainwright, Busman special?
Little Busman special.
The Cardinals are just going to destroy the Nationals today.
Probably.
Just demoralized them last night, and now you got Waino on the bump with some shadow. It's over. Man.
How upset would Cardinal fans be if the Cardinals followed the same, rebuilding process that the Nationals did, allowing Bryce Harper and Anthony Rendon and Max Scherzer to all get away? How do you do that when you're at the top of the game, you win it all, big market, big money coming in, playing in front of sold-out crowds, and you let it all go?
No, I get that.
Do you consider Washington a big market?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I think so, too.
Yeah, Washington's like top 6 or 7 or 8.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, it's a big market.
Doug, do the top 10 markets. Go.
New York, L.A.,
nice, you're right.
Chicago.
Yes.
4 is Philadelphia.
That's correct. That always kind of throw people off. They can get the top 3, but then it becomes a bit of a problem. This is fun. It's a fun little guessing game, isn't it?
5 used to be San Francisco, Oakland.
It's number 6 now.
Yeah, I think Dallas may
That's
have overtaken
correct.
it.
Are you going to go undefeated? So San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose is 6. What is 7?
7 might be Washington.
No, I'm sorry.
Boston?
No, I'm really sorry.
Atlanta? Not.
Yes.
Okay, and I think Houston is
yes.
in the top 10. And now it's probably Washington.
Yes.
Okay.
God, you're good.
That was actually really good.
St. Louis 11?
No, 21 or 2. No.
3, I think.
It's been falling.
We are in a rough patch.
Matter of opinion.
We'll bounce back with these new projects going in north and south.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's a hope anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a start.
Here we come.
Yeah.
Doug, in order to attain greatness, you have to visualize it. And wow, look at what's happening here in St. Louis.
Like when you visualized and saw the renderings of the stadium and saw yachts and dolphins jumping out of the Mississippi, the dreams
excited.
were made at that point. Yeah, you get excited.
It involved a river cleanup, apparently.
Where would this team be, though, without the Moose? Quintana,
I think I saw they're
Montgomery.
They're 20-3 since the trade deadline.
No, it's not that good, but it's.
I think maybe it's at home or something.
It is a ridiculous. I think it is 79% winning percentage. So I mean, it is insanity. Yeah, there's something to number one, the actual quality of the pitchers. And I don't think they've lost a Montgomery start, right?
No.
And he pitched well again last night. But there's also another element to it. And I think this is what some of these clubs since 2015 have lacked, minus the 2019 team. And that is, we're kind of in it. It's bordering on it, but the team isn't doing anything at the deadline. And they did. They went out and they got 2 pitchers. And the Jordan Montgomery thing, there's a Ken Rosenthal article 2 days ago, I was reading in The Athletic, about how Brian Cashman, after he's the longest-serving general manager in the game, and he is going to get whacked if they don't get to the World Series. And it puts Hal Steinbrenner, who runs that team in a different way than his dad did, in a weird spot because they're not necessarily looking to make a change there, but the fans are beside themselves. Yankees have won 4 in a row, but that Montgomery Bader trade is the topic of conversation there, in addition to a couple of other moves that he made that haven't necessarily worked out, and that they feel like they're actually trying to manage money there and stay around as low of a payroll as they can, which is amazing considering it's the New York Yankees. So, yeah, who would have thought Harrison Bader, Jordan Montgomery would be the moment that would get Brian Cashman after 2 decades as the general manager?
Yeah.
The Cardinals are 13-1 in Montgomery and Quintana start.
How do you do, Doug?
I'm fine, thanks.
When you get 2 starting pitchers for the postseason without giving up any prospects, it's unreal. Like, it's tremendous.
You could have traded for Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, or Justin Verlander and not gotten more than what they've gotten from Jordan Montgomery.
And you talk about Montgomery, but I don't think Quintana's given up more than 2 earned runs in any start.
Yeah, I saw that. A stat as well. I mean, it's just insanity. And they have all the prospects, though. It's just so... I mean, that's just great.
There's something about some of these veterans coming to the Cardinals in a pennant race late in the season. They just seem to kind of turn back the clock a little bit or pitch their best baseball. Who would have thought they would have gotten what they did last year out of Jay Happ and Lester? I mean, they were also outstanding.
Don't forget
Not this good, but they were good.
Don't forget the low-hanging fruit, JoJo Romero.
Yeah, he's been okay too, and Stratton's been okay. They got 4 pitchers. They got a third of their pitching staff at the trade deadline.
Well, maybe they're coming.
A fourth of their pitching staff, maybe a fourth.
And Doug, it was just very casual trades.
Well, I guess it is a third. If they got 4 pitchers and they keep about 12, right? They were casual trades.
And Quintana will make the postseason rotation. Am I correct? I may be missing some.
Borderline, I'd say. I don't know how many you need. He's probably 5th in line.
If you get into a 7-game series, probably.
If Flaherty comes back, I think Quintana would probably be pushed back.
I don't think so.
That would be shocking. I don't think.
I don't know.
That's
Flaherty might get 3 more starts, and if he pitches like he did in his first one, I bet they'd go with him over Quintana.
Be a rough conversation.
I think I follow this team. I mean, I can't watch because of Bally's. But I watch highlights and read articles. Who was the pinch runner they brought in last night?
DeLuzio.
Doug DeLuzio.
Local cat, right?
Where'd he come from?
The minor leagues. He played at Florida State.
Knowles.
They told
Tallahassee.
They told the story that the Florida State coach used to have a drill where he put all the players, let them start running at home plate, and then start timing them at first to see how fast it took them to get all around the bases. Deion Sanders held the record until DeLuzio beat it.
Yeah, he flew home without much of a play last night.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with him.
Well, he hadn't played much. He's only been up a couple days.
Yeah. All right.
He's from St. Louis.
He was born here, yeah.
Well, I don't know him, so.
Well, that doesn't lessen his accomplishments.
A little younger than me, so.
I was just mentioning.
They're all a little younger. They're all a lot younger.
Jackson's not going to chime in the rest of the show after that.
Jackson's like, oh, thank God I can turn my mic off.
Where'd he go to school? Where'd he go to school?
Florida State.
Yeah, he's from
he was
St.
just
Louis.
born here. He was born here, but he was raised somewhere else.
That's how he's like Kevin Nealon was born here for like 3 hours and left.
But that still counts.
Yeah, that's a quick.
We're going to take it. Don't rain on our parade. We like DeLuzio.
Just wasn't familiar with him.
Okay, I don't think any of us were until they brought him up.
We have a new Doug as the Cardinals are coming, tra-la, tra-la. That'd be a wonderful shirt, too. Action Jackson for Mike Flanagan and the good people at Inside Bowling. New Cardinal shirts with the TMA logo on them. Birds on the bat, powder blue, white, and red at TMASTLshop.com. Everything 10% off with another debut of another series of shirts in addition to the Pepperoncini shirt that came out this week, the new TMA flag T-shirt that came out this week. You can get it all 10% off, including the new Birds on the Bat shirt. It says with the TMA logo, TMASTLshop.com. TMASTLshop.com. bourbon.com. Why don't we all pour ourselves a little fistful of bourbon and celebrate the Cardinals being nearly 2 digits up on the Milwaukee Brewers on September 8th. That's where you can go and get your fistful of bourbon. Fistful of Bourbon, a loyal sponsor of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. And we say the following: there is a lot of common sense and Western wisdom, like don't squat with your spurs on and always drink upstream from the fan page. And there's also some Western wisdom that's less common, like never steal from a bear, which you can't make for yourself, or a twink doesn't know his worth until he's eye-to-eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad. I'm sure there's a good lesson in there somewhere, but there's one lesson that's perfectly clear. Fistful of Bourbon is an award-winning blend of 5 straight bourbons and is smooth as a banker on Friday. Get wise. Pick up a bottle today. Don't be a damn fool. Please enjoy responsibly. Ported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. That's Fistful of Bourbon.
Now, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You said a twink doesn't know his worth until he comes eye to eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad?
Yeah. They put it in the prompter. I read it.
I was trying to
literally
figure that
in
out.
the copy.
Okay.
It's literally in the
I was
copy.
just trying to think that through.
Makes you think, Doug.
It does make you think. If it's in the copy, Ron will read it.
Okay.
Engineer Design Facilities, the sponsor of our text inbox, EDF. EDF's fire division is now testing, inspecting, and maintaining the fire system on all commercial kitchen and restaurant hoods. If you have visibility to your company or place of business's commercial fire alarm panel and system, email fire@edf-rg.com. They'll have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com. They are the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. That's Engineered Designed Facilities, EDF. We're in the Michelob Ultra Studios. Michelob Ultra, sponsor of the Lemmings Open. That's taking place 2 weeks from Friday. That's 15 days to you and me. And we'll have Donut Drive-In there. We'll have Potbelly sandwiches for lunch and Uncle Leo's Pizza coming up for dinner. It's the Lemmings Open 2 weeks from tomorrow at Normandy. All sold out. But we are grateful for Michelob Ultra, sponsor of the studios and the Lemmings Open. The people are responding this morning. The Cardinals are almost 2 digits up from the Brewers. I'd like to be 2 digits up and Doug.
Who was it?
It's Phil the Peacock. That's P-H-Y-L.
I've got the suspension pin right here. Phil the Peacock has been suspended for his comments. He's been suspended a period of 2 days' time. His name right now is going into the suspension log, and I don't expect it feels very good, especially this early in the morning.
Deluzio hasn't heard of you either, wrinkled thigh meat. That's from the Dogtown Astroman, who did not like that Iggy didn't know who Deluzio is.
Well, why would he know who I was?
Guys, Ken really isn't positive about things, is he? That's from the Ilsider. Doug Iggy played the Ilsider in a match about a month and a half ago, and he defeated him on number 18.
Yes, he did. He took his measure.
What have I not been positive about this morning?
Ilsider, call into the Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone line, 636-9004.
I think you didn't want to claim Deluzio as a St. Louisan since he was raised somewhere else.
Well, yeah, you don't.
Well, yeah, I think I'm with
that's
Iggy.
a negative attitude.
It's not negative,
Does
being honest.
he introduce himself as a St. Louisan? He does not, which is fine. I could care less either way, but he's not. He wasn't born and raised here.
So. I talked about how good the pitching staff is. I'm not positive about anything.
Ilsider, this is your chance to go to the Steve Schmidt Kia of North County phone line.
People just make stuff up.
I was born in El Dorado, Kansas, but I don't consider
that's why you're so rock chalk.
I don't consider myself a El Doradoan.
Why? You were born there?
I would. If I went back, I would say, hey, I was born here. That's kind of cool. And that's kind of what this guy has done.
Well, he's not a St. Louisian.
He can be if he wants to.
82 and sunny today. Who wants to get drunk and make out with some MILFs who have to get back by 6 p.m. to pick up kids from daycare? Thanks. That's Steve in Wildwood.
Does that happen? Probably somewhere.
The Busman special is an infidelity special.
It is?
Yeah, they think they should market it that way, too.
Really? They go over to Ballpark Village and they mingle? Or they mingle online?
It's playtime.
And then they meet at Ballpark Village?
It's playtime. That's what it is. Yeah, I think if we went down there, we would all score.
Yeah.
At Ballpark Village?
Anywhere we go.
Mm-hmm.
Flip that off.
Maybe the Angry Beaver? Well, what's wrong with that?
No, Angry Beaver actually does have really good food.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
Really?
I don't know that I've
I
been...
have to
No,
say
you
it
were
does.
negative on Angry
Well,
Beaver's
I have
food.
been there. I'm more of a Broadway oyster bar guy when I'm there, but
Oh.
you know that's where you go when it's overflowed. And
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Beautiful day outside. How about that, Illsider?
It's a nice little pick-me-up on you.
Yeah, that was uplifting.
Out and enjoy your day. Just bitter that he got beat, I guess.
I think that's what it's about.
He's turned into a curmudgeon.
Has he? Well, now DeLuzio, I guess he lives in St. Louis now, so he's building up days as a St. Louis.
Well, he's probably in a hotel somewhere.
That counts, doesn't it? He's been here a couple weeks now.
All right, well.
Probably had a red roof.
LaRussa managed here, and he lived at the Chase Park Plaza for 12 years. Is he a St. Louisan? St. Louisan?
Well, he was when he lived at the Chase, yeah. Yeah, he was at that time.
Yes, apples and oranges.
Nice.
Well, LaRussa lived here for, 20 years or so? Well, not quite 20, but 15 or so.
Well, and he's back here quite a bit. I mean, he's missed some White Sox games and come back here for festivities.
Well, when he was with the Diamondbacks, didn't he miss the home opener?
Something like that.
Had to come
But he
here.
wasn't the manager. He was
Of course.
a front office guy.
Yeah.
I asked him one time, I was sitting outside smoking when he walked in, and we were just chatting. I said, do you ever, work for your club anymore? I mean, this is like the 9th time you've been here in the last 3 months. Yeah, I come back. Okay, I was just kidding. You know, mad.
All right.
Imagine walking into the D-backs office. Hey, I need to take tomorrow off. Need to go to St. Louis, the home opener.
Well, if you're a Hall of Famer for that team, they probably get it.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
What? He didn't do anything where? Here?
No, Arizona. It's not like they miss him.
It was kind of a consultant, I think. Yeah.
Iggy, is your porn okay? You're more curmudgeon than usual? What does that mean? Is your porn okay? Am I reading that right? Is your Doug? Iggy, is your porn okay? You're more curmudgeon than usual. Nate in Tallahassee.
I don't believe I've been a curmudgeon this morning. I really don't.
You're just down on DeLuzio.
Well, I'm not down on him. I didn't know who he was.
You don't want him to claim St. Louis.
Well, no, not if you're born here and you're still in your...
And now he lives here. He's come full circle.
You're still, what is it, swarth? You swarth?
What?
When you swarth a baby, you wrap the thing around it?
Swath.
Swath. So you just swath the baby out of the
Silent
hospital
R.
and you're in a car back to wherever you're going to live. That's not a St. Louisan. What, do you spend a day here?
Well, they're not jumping up and down saying, here's a guy from St. Louis. They're just saying that he was
I'm
born
sure the
here.
B-fibs are there. He's one of us. Standing ovation.
Oh, Lord.
St. Louis kid.
I think we want to count it. Luke Voigt counts, doesn't he?
Oh, that's awesome.
Does Luke Voigt count? He doesn't live here right now.
But he was born here and he was raised here. He went to school here, right?
So he counts.
Yeah.
All right. Max Scherzer counts. He hadn't lived in St. Louis in years.
It doesn't matter where you live. It's where you were born and raised.
Well, he was born here, DeLuzio.
Not raised.
Calling the nation all day.
I'm not gonna argue this with you.
Okay.
Hey, moron! That may have been the 9th time you've seen LaRusse in 3 months, but I know that at least the 9th time you have told that story in 3 months. That's from Nathan from the east side of Alton.
Well, I don't believe I have, because I don't think we've brought up Tony traveling to St. Louis for festivities in quite a while.
Let me just send
$20 million in the bank.
And that MLB pension is fat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's funny. The guy who got drafted from Canton to play in the NFL, he was like a 4th-round pick. This was like 03, something like that, 04.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 2 games away from his 5-year pension and didn't get it.
Oh, geez.
You know, he talks about just how.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll let a guy hang around just to get that pension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
This in the New York Post, one of Action Jackson's links, WFAN's Brandon Tierney. Doug, do you know Brandon Tierney?
No, I don't.
I think he did a show with Tiki Barber.
Yeah. That's how I know the name.
Oh, wow. You do know him.
Well, I know that.
Because you would
Tiki
have to
and
listen to
Tierney-
it when it was syndicated programming leading into TMA. There
Yeah,
you go.
you had no choice.
Yeah, that's the show he's still on. I guess it's just not on CBS anymore. Show by ripping Yankees general manager, saying that if the team comes up short this season, he should lose his job. Brian Cashman, at least if I run the Yankees, Brian Cashman has 4 weeks to earn an extension. Now, I could be really mean and say even if they perform well over the next 4 weeks, he still doesn't deserve an extension. Brian Cashman should, in terms of job status, be hanging by a thread.
Why?
And a lot of this goes back to this Harrison Bader
Yeah.
Jordan Montgomery
But
trade.
they're in the toughest division in baseball, hands
with
down.
with a 5-game lead.
With a 5-game, and I realize it was like a 15-game lead or a 12-game lead. But Cashman on it saying he's a great people person, but his track record is pretty good. Dealing with the New York media and the fan base there. He gotten 1 ring as a GM or 2. I know he has 1 for sure with Sabathia, but still, I mean,
2009 they won.
Yeah.
If you're around long enough in that job, you're going to make some horrible deals. You just are. If you're going to make any deals at all, there's a couple that are going to go sour on you. I don't know anybody that's got a perfect track record.
It's a bad deal, but they were losing before that trade, weren't they? They were struggling.
They started to struggle in July.
And Montgomery had like a 3.9 ERA and like a 4.3 ERA in a career. It's not like they traded like a future Cy Young. You have no idea what these players are going to do.
And they didn't have a center fielder. Hicks was not good in center field, and they were looking to tighten up the defense. My question is, if Bader was damaged goods, don't the Yankees have reason to say, wait a minute, shouldn't this trade be nullified? You traded somebody who's hurt, and we didn't know how badly he was hurt?
No,
That's on them, though.
Part of the deal was that if he is not ready come playoff time with his injury, the Cardinals have to send them another player.
Yeah, well, that other player might turn out to be a really good player based on what Montgomery's doing. I wonder if they've already submitted the list of who these other players are that they can pick from.
I think it's like a prospect kind of thing.
Tierney said, post-dynasty, whether it's Jeff Weaver. Boy, Jeff Weaver took shrapnel.
Come on.
Whether it's Kevin Brown, whether it's Randy Johnson, whether it's Sonny Gray, whether it's Jacoby Ellsbury, Gary Sheffield, Giambi, other veteran retread starting pitchers, or Bobby Abreu playing the outfield, or Josh Donaldson's dopey 2-year, $50 million deal, or Aaron Hicks's asinine 7-year deal, or DJ LeMahieu, who looks like he's 50, DJ LeMahieu, who looks like he's done, giving him 6 years, or trading a middle-of-the-rotation lefty for a guy who's a soft-hitting center fielder.
Why Bader not even playing and taking shrapnel?
Oh, he's going to be hated unless he hits about 50 bombs at that club next year.
He was probably so excited to go home and play for that team.
And now he's done. I mean, like, you can't miss a month and a half while you're...
Well, he's the victim of the circumstances because no matter what, he has to live up to... I mean, in a way, it's certainly, it's not the cauldron that is New York City, but Matthew Liberatore will be always linked to Arozarena, not through his fault, but that is just the nature of who you were traded for. And then in New York, with everybody paying attention to a team that was on pace to win more than 110 games and is now going to have to, Doug, what do you call it, stave off the Rays? Or the Blue Jays, for that matter. And anything less than a World Series appearance, and he could be, because his contract's up at the end of the year, so he's working for an extension.
Yeah. Well, he's...
And Aaron Judge is a free agent.
Yeah.
He may break Maris's record.
He's at 55 now.
Yeah. Speaking of bad trades, in that Marcell Ozuna trade, the Cardinals dealt away 2 of the best pitchers in the National League right now.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Sandy Alcantara and Zach Gallen.
That's right.
2 of the best in the league.
Well, that's right.
But, you bounce back. You make a good one. Hopefully you make several good ones for every bad one, but that turned out to be a terrible, terrible trade.
Well, they helped him out.
No, they could have gotten somebody else to handle left field. It didn't cost them 2 all-star quality pitchers.
Gold glovers don't grow on trees.
No, neither do young quality pitching. That's why they hate to give up the prospects, is because this is the nightmare that comes true. Not always, but sometimes.
What's funny is I think at the time, didn't we trade Alcantara because we had Carlos Martinez, and like there's a couple others that were like blocking him, but in the end, like it's unbelievable what he turned out to be. Sick.
I know. Yeah.
Scott Sprinkled nutsack. Is that the same as Scott Sprinkled ballsack? Have we done a full-fledged investigation?
We don't know. Pretty confident.
Speaking of MILF, Steve, I guess he's having a conversation with Stephen Wildwood. At what age does one reach the appropriate MILF age? I've always believed one can become a MILF immediately upon having a child, but I feel like they are supposed to be around the 35 to 40-ish age to reach mature MILF status. Thanks. That's from Scott's Wrinkled Nutsack.
Yeah, right when you have a kid, you're not a MILF.
You're not?
You have to earn
In Canton, you say they are pregnant early on?
Well, yeah, so... I mean, technically, you could probably be a MILF at 25 in Canton because you got a 7 or 8-year-old running around. But I think you got to have the wear and tear on you a little bit. The kid's got to be old enough to where you have bags under your, you've seen a thing or two. I think that's when MILF status becomes. It's not right when you pop out a kid.
You don't really
you're
get
a
bags under
MILF.
your eyes at 35 or
Well,
40.
I was just saying, like, losing sleep, having to do the whole baby thing.
You at least want some stretch marks?
You got to. I think that's an all-natural MILF. Those are the ones I like.
I think the MILF is the same as a cougar, that same age group, except the MILF is married.
Correct.
And
So
has
mine is about
kids.
40-ish. Yeah, I think 40 is about the MILF age.
Yeah,
for me.
I agree with Nutsack.
You can't be a MILF if you're 30 years old and have 3 kids?
I think you have to be a little older.
I guess it, again, depends on when you had the kids. So there's a lot of variables.
Either. But you don't get all that information when you have to make that decision in the real world.
Correct. It's a feel thing. You just look and then you know.
Right.
Now, Lexi Bell told me that the porn industry, they didn't want you to start being a MILF at like 28.
But that's not the real
They want you
world.
to start doing MILF stuff at 28.
Oh, there's some websites I've seen way younger than 28 being the MILF category.
Just because they're trying to get you to look at the beautiful women.
And now there's like 18-year-old stepmoms. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Well, yeah, that's not the real world.
I'll click through a couple pages of it, but
That's show business.
Is your buddy still shooting stag?
Yeah.
Matty Dreads?
Yeah, making a killing.
Doug, Matty Dreads.
He makes a killing doing that, huh?
Unbelievable.
How much did he make this guy?
Yeah, what do you think he's doing?
I don't know if he's ever won an AVN. He's probably in the 5 to 6 range a year, 500, 600,000 a year, maybe more.
And living in Las Vegas? Is that where he is?
Yeah.
Just by
he's got a
shooting
place
it.
in LA too. So
Why don't we shoot some stag
Just by
today?
being the photographer?
He just buys a house, will shoot porn there for a couple years, and then sell it for a profit, and has his condo, penthouse thing in Vegas, and got a place in LA. And
But how does he make the money by shooting the videos?
I mean, he has a ton of connections in terms of big name porn stars that he works with, and gets paid, and he's a guy that will just do as much work in a day as possible in terms of shooting. So he doesn't take days off. Really, he'll hammer out as much as he possibly can because he's single. He's living in Vegas. He's shooting porn. I mean, what did he got to do? Go to brunch?
Yeah. When work doesn't really feel like work.
Exactly. Like he can do that all day, I guess.
I just wonder, but then they sell it on OnlyFans or something?
I don't know where his content goes. Usually, he has a couple videos that he shot that have several 100 million views. I think one has almost 1 billion views. So I don't know if he gets paid by the view. I don't know how that is structured there in the porn industry. Everything's different.
Yeah.
Most directors just get paid by the company.
Yeah, it's just a flat rate.
So it's hard to believe you can make $600,000 just. And I'm not.
Oh, it could
I'm
be
not
more.
saying
It could
you're-
be more than that.
Maybe he's
Making
not a
it up.
director. He sounds like he owns the thing.
Dude,
Well, if it's his own content, it's a different thing. But I've never heard what company he's from.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know what company from. I just know Matty Dreads.
Matty Dreads.
Doing very, very
Why doesn't
well.
he join Pepper and Jeannie for yet another guest?
Dude, he is a.
I'd love to hear
tornado.
that.
He is.
Yeah,
He
come
would be
on,
one of the best interviews
What's
you'll
that?
ever have.
I said, get him on, Flossie.
Yeah, actually, I will text him.
And his parents finally found out what he did?
They just found out. 2
Well,
years
what was the
ago.
reaction?
They were a little, I think, disappointed. I love before they found out, like, he said he worked at, like, the ABC affiliate out there.
Yeah.
And so he knew people that worked, because that's where he started at. So he would set up these faux tours of the ABC affiliate.
When the relatives came
and
in.
had this, like, production guy that he knew act like his boss. Like, it did the full thing. Did it for years and years and years.
Really?
Yes.
Well, when the parents come out, they probably only need to tour the one time, right?
They've only been out a couple times. That's the great thing about that distance and how they're unknown about, like, they have no idea about the porn
I
industry.
would
It's
like to have seen the look on their parents' face when he finally told them.
I would have loved. Apparently, the dad was extremely disappointed.
Get him on for the follow-up interview after Matty Dreads.
Oh, man.
Guys, Iggy is mad again about Plowsy's story. That's from Tracy Woodson. What would Iggy be mad about?
And it is true. It's an eye-popping how he can make that money doing what he does. But again, he's a full-fledged 7-day-a-week.
Is that
type of
right? He's
guy.
working 7 days a week
He
shooting
will,
stag?
he will if he needs to, yeah. I mean, when we go out there, he takes time off and hangs out with us, but yeah.
It's kind of amazing to me that there's that many people willing to star in these little productions.
Oh, it's only getting bigger now with OnlyFans.
Yeah, he said his email inbox of people that are, in Tennessee, Oklahoma, the 19, 20-year-old girls, they're ready to get into it immediately. Really? They started their OnlyFans, and they need better production value to, instead of making $3,000 a month, making, 50, 100 grand a month.
Well, if there's that many, why don't you make that your OnlyFans project?
Nice.
I can't make that kind of money, man. There's
Why
no
not?
guy. I don't know what the top-rated guy.
Well, if you made
OnlyFans
half that,
can-
you'd be happy, wouldn't you?
8th of that, I'll be just fine with. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's that many people wanting to get into it, there must be a big demand for it.
Yeah. I mean, there's billions in that OnlyFans, man.
How would your parents react if they found out you did that?
They wouldn't care one bit.
Really?
They've seen me smoke weed, and yeah, they've seen it all. Like, my parents have, like, just no care. As long as I'm happy, enjoying myself, Madison's taking care of, they're fine.
Oh, well, that's good. I don't think most people would get that kind of hall pass from the rest of the family.
I am very lucky with how open my family is, for sure.
I think it's different for dudes than girls.
I think so, too. And it shouldn't be, but there is certainly that. You don't have any daughter, but I assume if you had a daughter,
I'd be
and John
horrified.
Vaughn and your daughter came and
It's a
said the
daughterless
same
show,
thing.
Doug. The daughterless show. There are 5 children on this program.
Yeah.
None daughters.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a daughter and your coworkers, hey, saw your daughter in that new scene.
Yeah,
Oh, God, yeah, that'd be
When did you get into
horrendous.
DP?
You think anybody's ever asked their coworker when?
That would be the worst conversation. I would quit immediately.
Stephen Wildwood has issued an official ruling per the request of Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack / Nutsack. I'm thinking 40. It's when your kids start playing ball and you notice them around the Little League games. When I coached, I would say the kids in 2nd to 5th grades had the hottest moms. Thanks, that's Steve in Wildwood with a ruling.
Yeah, they need to be the younger kids.
I agree with that.
40 seems kind of old to me because most women have had their kids by 40. Most have.
I don't know. I think it's changing a little bit in terms of people waiting until they're a little bit older. I know me and Madison are doing that. That's our
Oh yeah,
goal as well.
they wait older than they used to, but still, most women have had their kids before age 40.
Oh, 100%. But if they have them at 30 or 31, your kid's just now 9, kind of in that range of 2nd to 5th grade to
Well,
where
sure.
Steve is that honey hole.
Oh, honey.
Honey hole.
I think the MILF title is just, it doesn't really make sense because it's saying moms, you know what the rest is. So technically a mom is you could have a 22-year-old girl just had a kid. All right, you're technically a MILF. But so I think you need to change the name.
Well, what are you going to change?
I think
it to?
cougar is better because cougar, I don't think you have to be divorced or single to be a cougar. It just has to be a certain age, and I think MILF should be the same way. I would say 38 to 40.
That's a very narrow window.
Yeah, well, I researched it.
Yeah, you just got 2
it's
years.
a byproduct of research.
No, I mean anywhere between 38, 40, and older, but anything younger, I think MILF and cougar are pretty much the same thing.
Isn't cougar just a woman that goes after a younger guy? Couldn't you be 30 and the guy is 20 and you're a cougar?
No, I think that's correct. That's what my understanding of it was. That emerged around 2005.
I don't know the years, Tim.
I think it was because that was Lidge Pools. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just
Nice,
older
Tim.
woman, younger guy.
Doug, when they are younger, like under 5, the moms have less time to work out. When they get into school, they have more time to work out. Thanks. That's Steve and Wild.
Man, dude, this is a real, like, in-depth, like,
It's strictly on an
I'm
individual
surprised.
basis there.
He does a lot of
More of a
research.
central
at that.
corridor thing.
A lot of research at that pool he does.
He does do a lot of research. He does indeed. He texted me yesterday. He met my member partner who Jackson has a crush on. Spencer.
Spence.
Yeah.
Jackson has a man crush?
Yep.
Untrue. I said the man looks like Brooks Koepka. It's like him too.
And that's why you like
I mean,
him so much?
don't get me wrong, he's a handsome guy.
Oh, yeah.
Here we
it
go,
is. Now
Doug.
the truth comes out.
But I never said like, ooh la la.
Oh, you just did.
I think you did one
Coming
time.
out now.
There you go.
Yeah, behind his back when he took that swing. He's, ooh la la.
He didn't say that.
I think I heard it.
Listen, man, everyone's got their own thing.
Yeah,
I'm
some
with
people
you,
like
I'm with
some
you,
things,
brother.
some people like other things. And this is a sex-positive HD2 show. There aren't a lot of HD2 shows in general, but also there aren't a lot of HD2 shows that are sex-positive, and we will not kink shame.
Do we know of any other HD2 shows?
Nope.
Are we the only one in the country?
I think we might be.
The only one in town, anyway.
We're the reason.
Yeah, that should be a marketing.
KSHE doesn't. KSHE is an HD too.
Yeah, but there's not a talk show.
No, but it did a 0.3 rating.
I think the FCC heard our
Which
show
they're
and go,
happy about.
we're going to create something we like to call HD2.
Where can we hide them? Where they think they're still on the radio, but no one actually has to hear
They're
it.
playing radio right now.
Stephen Wildwood has issued a statement regarding my member partner, Spencer. He doesn't look like Brooks Koepka, but yes, he is handsome.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's important, especially for this show, to be able to identify hot guys.
Oh, 100%.
And I think we can all, it's safe to say that all 5 of us are hot.
Yep.
Well, that
agree with
goes
that.
without saying.
I agree
Yeah.
with that part.
A lot of beefcake up in here.
Yeah. So don't throw stones. There's glass houses.
No, well, we can be hot without acknowledging anyone else is.
I agree with that.
You and I differ on that point, Doug, but
If one were to have 5 kids from age 20 to 29, would there be any special exceptions? That's from Scott's Wrinkled Nutsack. I guess he has a follow-up question for Steve. Doug, they're essentially having a conversation via the
Right.
engineer design facility.
I guess he's promoting his wife to be in the MILF category. Isn't that
Why?
what she's done?
Well, in the definition of the word, yeah, I'll consider a MILF only because I know what that would entail.
Huh?
Well, you
That
know
was
what
word salad right there.
No, no, you know what the, I'm trying to. You know what the MILF stands for.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right,
we
well,
do.
the answer to that with me would be yes.
Okay, but that's not going to help your chances.
So yeah, I would consider a MILF.
Powerful moment here
I would consider a MILF then.
on the Ryan Kelly Morning
Who's a
After.
MILF?
Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack's lady friend.
Oh, she melted.
Lady friend, Doug, what are they out at the retirement
That's
home?
his wife, but. You ever introduce it? Hi, Mom. This is my lady friend, Gladys. Gladys. Meet Gladys, my lady friend.
Mr. Licks is now active and says, at what point does the station relegate you guys to HD3? That's from Mr. Licks. I can see it happening.
WIL has HD3.
Just a couple more phone calls from Mr. Lixel.
Oh, the plow!
That'll send us right to HD3.
Somebody said, and I don't know if it's true, that you could have as many HD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you want.
Oh, is that right?
In the digital world, I don't know
HD 69,
exactly how that works.
Tim.
HD, that's where we'll be.
How do you
You have
find
to
it on
press
your
your
radio?
button every time to get to
I
it.
know that there are stations, well, they do. They have multiple beyond HD2. I've never.
WIL's got 3.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You can find it on your radio? You just
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
flipping through 3, 4, 5, 6 others in
Is there-
HD7.
I mean, you have to have a.
Newer car.
Yeah, it depends
Yeah,
on the
but I
caliber
didn't-
of whip.
I didn't know that they could store that many.
Oh, I don't think it's a problem with storing it. I think the issue is, can a radio station make money paying salaries of people to program an entire day of HD2
Now, does
or
their
3 or 4 or
HD3
5?
have people on there, or they just simulcast?
I think it's just additional music, or probably.
So you're not really paying anybody if you don't have to pay any host to do it. If you're just
Yeah, that's how they can do it. Yeah, but the talk show format probably wouldn't work.
I mean, KSHE 3 or HD2, I think is killing it. I mean, a lot of people, it's just KSHE classics all day.
Yeah, but what we do is special.
Clip that.
Well, yeah, you get to hear TMA all day.
Yeah, imagine that, Doug. It's actually we're living out people's dreams for them.
It sure feels like that when you get up at 5:30 and stagger in here and talk about stupid stuff. It really feels like we're living out other people's dreams.
You don't know what you talk about.
I think we're living out Tommy Sabulka's dream because he is a loyal sponsor of the program, and he actually will be golfing with us at Gateway, as a matter of fact. VIP Auto Accessories. What is VIP Auto Accessories? Well, VIP Auto Accessories is your one-stop full-service shop for all your auto accessory needs. They do van and truck upfitting for commercial fleet vehicles, provide graphic solutions for vehicles, retail office spaces, floors, windows, and more, and have a full array of public safety solutions, including for EMS and police fleets. Why go to a bunch of different vendors when VIP does it all at one place? They are a full-service operation, a one-stop shop, and they take the vehicle from point A to point Z. VIP saves you time and hassle. It's quicker to deal with VIP than 2 to 3 vendors with multiple locations. Munganass works with VIP. Design Air works with VIP. And you can work with VIP. Call Tommy Sabulka directly at 314-428-3900 or email him at tommy.cibulka@vipautoaccessories.com. Doug, could you tell the audience about our title sponsor? I have his name is Ryan Kelly, and I have him sponsoring the show as the title sponsor for a decade at thehomeloanexpert.com, Jack.
That's what he does. He sponsors shows, and he cuts great mortgages and refinances for people. He's done it twice for me. Twice I've refinanced through Ryan Kelly, and I can tell you the whole process, very simple, very easy, and you'll be glad that you did. Need extra cash to pay off high-interest credit cards or make home improvements? Many people could use extra cash for sure, and a simple cash-out refi is available with the Home Loan Expert. The Home Loan Expert offers low interest rates and refi with an average cash out of $54,000. The bidding wars are ending, and it is officially a buyer's market. The Home Loan Expert has unique loan programs for almost everyone, including those with less than perfect credit, government-backed mortgage loans, self-employed borrowers, and more. The Home Loan Expert's amazing customer service and 10-day closing guarantee can only be found with the Home Loan Expert. If you have questions or are ready to get yourself pre-approved, learn more today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thank you, Ryan Kelly. Thank you, Sir Mortgage.
Call in, Steve Schmidt, Kia, North County phone line, 636-9004 TMA. Save that in your phone and just become a friend of the Feather. I mean, Doug, so many women, really, call into this show and just are able to kind of talk. You know, they wake up in the morning, have their coffee, and, you know.
It's almost exclusively fitness models.
I agree with you.
It's not just anyone calling in or wanting to go private.
I agree. 636-9004 TMA. And you can text in 314-881-TMA5, Engineer Design Facilities text inbox, and email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. What a diverse set of standings here in the early going, September 8th, 2022. And collector of butt plugs, Gunter and Kevin Miller, all with wins so far. Fun to see. Fun.
Good times. Really good times. I don't know when we've had this much fun with the email. It comes with a new name. Now, when we say new names, are they really the same old people, just with new names?
Whoa.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, was I?
Yeah, that don't want to.
Okay.
Well,
cut that out, Lousy.
Yeah, drop
No, we're not even on air on HD2.
Oh, that's right.
Clip that off.
We just think
that can be a T-shirt also. Man, Jackson, we got a lot of T-shirts. TMA STL Shop, new Cardinal shirts up today. Powder blue, white, and red as the Cardinals are coming. Tra-la, tra-la. I really do think we need to make that shirt. We never made that shirt. I guess that's because they really weren't coming before. Double entendres. Oh, it's so funny.
How would
so
a T-shirt?
We'll make the bat
Our
a
heads
penis.
are on there, so they're not cardinals. Technically, they're cardinal bodies, but our heads would be where the bird face would be.
Oh,
Man, we'd look sexy.
wouldn't
I agree.
I think that'd be a hot seller.
I would still want to bring back a cartoony one, like your first T-shirt, where you guys look like 50-year-old like Oompa Loompas. Wasn't that the one that you get?
I wish
wanna,
I was a 50.
I want to do caricatures at some point for our.
Yeah, I think Martin looked like Joe Besser of the Three Stooges.
No, this one Three Stooge that was not funny at all.
Yeah, he was terrible. Well, they ran out of.
Yeah, they all died off, I guess.
Ran out of Moe's relatives.
Yeah.
That's an awful idea, Ken. That's from Brian Henson.
We
Show
don't
him
care
Bud's
what you think. Don't buy one then.
He's getting ready for the Colts game. Doug, who the Colts?
Sure he is. Yeah.
I don't know who they play.
Is that the high school lacrosse team?
I know they're 7-point favorites. That's all I know.
Michael
Parkway
Pittman,
Central.
DFS play of the week.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, big time.
Wow, Jackson.
That
They're
was my
playing the Jaguars.
Don't do this.
You heard that?
No, they're
Don't
not
do
playing
this to
the
They're
kill
not playing the
time.
They're not
Jaguars.
playing the Jaguars.
Doug, the Jaguars are playing the Commanders.
Why can't? Oh, they're playing the Texans.
Commanders.
That was the
Playing
only.
the Texans.
Last Friday, I read Lisa Ann my 3 prop bets I made for Pick 6. And I said the Colts to win that division. That's the only one she poo-pooed on. She goes, don't care for that one.
Well, there you go. Then you know not to take the Colts.
Well,
Who's going to win that division? I guess the Titans?
I guess, but
Doug, will you be watching the Bills tonight?
I don't.
but I think the Colts are favored.
Wait, the NFL starts tonight?
Rammies,
Rams
Bills.
and Bills.
Ugh,
I don't know.
God.
That's one of my three teasers I played this week.
I don't have a fantasy football team this year for the
Yeah.
first time in a long time. The robber barons and carpetbaggers that run the NFL have just sapped so much of my interest in the league.
I can't agree with you enough, Doug. And I've always been a more college football than NFL guy, but I'm a huge diehard Packers fan, so I always followed the NFL. I'm out. You know, I'll watch my Packers, and I can't watch a Commanders-Texans game.
No, I can't.
Especially without a fantasy rooting interest. There's zero interest in me to watch that. Which is weird, because I used to absolutely live and die by the NFL.
I'm just the opposite. I look forward to the game tonight. I look forward to watching
I'll watch
Arizona
it
and the
tonight.
Chiefs. I look forward to Tampa Bay. Look forward to Green Bay, Dallas. I mean, there's some good games.
Red Zone is the key. I love watching Red Zone. It's so much fun. No commercials, all action.
I'm with Tim. Same as college football, man. I can sit there and watch college football all day.
Yeah, I do love me.
Not even have a bet on it. I can watch it.
I can't wait for the Missouri game on Saturday.
For
Man,
real.
Pat McAfee joining Game Day too. That's a huge get. That show got stale, so nice to see. College football.
You
getting
will
some-
watch now because of Pat McAfee?
I always watch. I
Okay.
love College Game Day, man. But it's not like how it was, 10, 15 years ago. I still like Lee Corso, but you got to get some new blood in there, and I think that was a good idea from them.
I didn't see Lee Corso. He was on last week, wasn't he?
He's really, and again, he's a character. He is so old, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's what I was reading. That it
he
looked like
doesn't-
he wasn't going to make it through.
he doesn't make a lot of good points, and he's fun. He's more of a character than but you got to have something other than that.
He's still putting on the mascot head who he picked.
Of course, he picked Brutus and Ohio State over Notre Dame.
That's a nice little gimmick there. It's a nice stickle.
Hilarious. It's from family. I mean, I don't like Jack Harlow. I think he could have got a better guest pick him than that.
Why do you like Jack Harlow?
I don't think I know
I don't
Jack
dislike him, but a Notre Dame Ohio State game, and you don't even get like a former Ohio State player or a actor, actress, athlete that went to Ohio State. It was weird.
Fun fact, Jack Harlow and I are the exact same age. March 13th, 1998.
Oh, wow. Doug, I have that same thing going with Bo Hart. Bo Hart, hard worker.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Boy, Jack Harlow for Jackson.
Yep, exact same age.
There's a soundbite out there that I heard the other day that, if we could find it, it's the same thing as Stingray. Corso going, "Not so fast, my friend. Give me that head."
Oh.
All right, give me that head. That show's fun. Like now, there's a lot of fake cheering, and also if you've watched it lately, now you have like the huge, like how the flags, everybody, like the pro-religion flags are they take over the entire.
The pro-religion flags?
Yeah, it's Jesus saves us and all. They're everywhere. They
Really?
take, yeah, and you can't kick people out with that. I mean,
No.
showcasing the religious belief. But yeah, watch Game Day and you will see huge Jesus loves you and he's our savior
All
flags.
I know about is the Washington State flag. That's the only thing I'm aware of.
No, it covers now the screen.
Were they at BYU?
No, they're at Ohio State, but they have a following that goes to every College Game Day and just showcasing these. So it loses a little bit of luster with that.
I can't stand Pat McAfee wearing tank tops year-round. Such a Hoosier D-bag. Thanks. That's Eric in the Central West End.
Okay.
He is a Hoosier. I don't know about D-bag, but he's a good personality nonetheless in terms of TV and gaining viewership. I'm not saying he's funny, but he's entertaining.
Remember in the old days of, I think probably around when you and I were watching it, Doug, but back in the old days of golf, the guy with the multicolored fro and always hold the John 316 sign
Rock and
up.
Rollin' Stewart.
Yeah, he was at every golf tournament.
And
John 316.
And every World Series and Super Bowl, he'd be in the front row.
That's the only time I've seen religion.
Haven't seen him in many years.
No, probably dead.
Yeah, probably. Well, okay, that kind of killed things.
Story I didn't. I'm just trying to.
I feel bad for Roland Stewart now.
Trying to think of a story I hadn't told before.
Okay.
So
Not a bad
For the
one.
book.
I'm sure somebody heard that 5 times in the last month.
Guys, I have the same birthday as Matt Holliday, and my name is also Matt. Albert's birthday is the day before. Cool, right? Toodles. Thanks.
Oh.
Well, me and Jackson I'm a day after Jackson. 9 years in a day, but.
Yeah, it's darling. It's very cute.
Well, it doesn't count if you just share the birthday. You got to share the same year.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
know.
born on the exact
And we don't
same
even
day, right?
share the same birthday. I was saying my birthday is a day after Jackson's.
Though
That is a
Jack Harlow
coincidence.
is one of the biggest people going. That's from Turvis Parish.
I just don't know who he
He's
is.
hot right now.
I don't watch enough to know.
I think he got fined $1 million, if I'm not mistaken, from that performance he did on College Game Day.
They find him?
I'm
What's his obligation to pay?
I think that it was about an edit that he was supposed to do with a line that involved man love.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he actually ended up
Pineapple.
saying it. Yeah. And so I think that was the. I'm not for sure. I only saw 2 articles about it, so I don't know what
I feel
happened.
like ESPN is the one who would have to pay that.
But I think they had a contract with him.
Okay.
Something that he guaranteed that he would not, say that he would edit all of his, censored and things like that. So, yeah, I think he got fined $1 million. But I'm sure he
Okay.
doesn't care one bit about that.
Oh, no. Millions a
Probably
lot.
not.
That is
You're
true.
a young cat.
Take that money and go to Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. Work with Jamie Burkhardt, work with Clayton Patterson, work with Peter Munganess, the sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. If you're in the market for a new car or a pre-owned car, buying, leasing, go to stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com, and you can go shopping right there from your home online. Check it out. You're working with the absolute best. My car is getting repaired right now at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Peter Munganess, and the entire staff at those dealerships. That is the official automotive provider of TMA. If you'd like an introduction to Jamie Burkhardt, I'd be more than happy to make it. Email me, tmckernan at InsideSTL.com. It's Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. I was making introductions left and right to James Carlton. I guess his sponsorship of the Gabe DeArmond thing has the Mizzou people wanting to get on board with him.
Really?
Yeah, left and right.
Oh, that's
Super
good.
nice guy.
James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Get your car at Munganess and now get it insured with James Carlton. 314-961-4800. He is my insurance agent. So I am more than happy to firsthand give you a testimonial to just how incredible James Carlton's staff is and how quickly he gets back to you on issues of the car getting repaired. I had to file a claim, and it was taken care of quick, fast, and a hurry. They follow up via text message. It's super convenient. And it's the best, and I'm so happy I made the switch to James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency in Webster Groves. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. Guys, Big Mike is loose in the YouTube chat.
Oh, no.
What does that mean? Loose in the YouTube chat.
He's gone private.
I thought only we could go private, Jackson. I thought we set up the software. What is going on? I see the last comment I see is from Elia316.
That's a great name.
I see it.
Oh, and podcasting yesterday's show, Cayman Skin, you're such a creep being so obsessed with that Miami cross-dresser and that high school kid spending all his parents' money. Very odd. I don't see anything else, though.
Does that constitute being loose?
Yeah, does that mean you're loose?
I think he is loose.
He's a liar. I don't know about loose.
Well,
I wouldn't call him.
Liam Riley is not somebody who's a cross-dresser.
No, he said I'm obsessed with these two.
So is Liam Riley a cross-dresser?
Yeah, I guess it's his job, I think.
He's got a job doing that? Who would pay you?
If he were to ask you out on a date, would you go?
No, I'm not gay.
All right. Just trying to get to the bottom
I
of this
would for
whole
a
thing.
free meal.
That's not what you told Chase Richards.
That was for a free bump.
Oh.
I didn't have sex
Bumps.
with him. He's a friend. We used to watch him play piano almost every night.
I know. Right there at the front neck Hilton, right?
But you said you would have cuddled with him, no?
Yeah, maybe.
That was the first Pepper and Genie.
That's not gay.
It is gay. If you're going to cuddle with a guy in a
That's
hot
not
tub,
gay.
I'm sorry, that's gay.
What about John Candy and Steve Martin? They cuddled.
Dug in P's, T's, and A's. Was that 1987? 1988?
I think 87.
And they arrived in St. Louis from the west but crossed from the east. Did you have a problem with that?
Yeah, kind of. That's not my pillow. That's not my hand. Was that the line?
That's not a pillow. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 1987 film.
Oh, okay.
John Hughes.
All right.
Guys, I tried to tell you that Big Mike sucks. Thanks, that's from the Loomster. Yeah, wasn't the Loomster not going to participate in the dating game if Big Mike did? But then
I
they
believe
both
so.
did, right?
Yeah,
and then Loomster won.
Yes, he did.
Loomster is the
His
listener
wife
of the
won it.
year.
His
He won
wife
the dating game, and he finished second in the Fan Page Club Championship.
Is there
He's the
anything
listener of the year.
Anything left for anybody to surpass him? I guess they could do something spectacular at the Lemmings Open.
Yeah.
Or at Maggie O'Brien's coming up.
Well, the Lemmings is a team effort. The dating game was all his wife. He really had nothing to do with that.
But if the Loomster were to steal a pizza or something, he might lose that lofty
That's
ranking.
true.
And then he lost the Fan Page Club Championship.
Yeah, it's Loomster's to lose. If I was him, I'd just check out.
Yeah, listener of the year.
He really hasn't won anything.
I would just check out and say,
Did you just poo-poo on the Loomster?
Well, what has he won?
He won the date with
His
Lisa
wife won
Ann.
it.
Yeah, I think I'm with Iggy. His wife won him the dating contest. I think he had one forfeit at least to get to the championship round, and lost in the finals.
Yeah, but you don't need to win World Series MVP to get a ring.
Think about
That's
that.
true, but
He's on the
yes,
team.
You do.
But isn't
Well,
he
you
the
gotta be on the
equivalent of
team.
like a
He's on the
mascot at that
team,
point?
yeah.
Like,
No. That's how probably gets a ring.
Well, I have no problem with this because that's how you win these games. But
who else
Vanessa,
would-
Edie's wife, was actually talking to Lisa Ann prior to the contest, kind of
Really?
pumping up their
Greasing the skids.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, like at Maggie O'Brien.
Yeah,
Doug,
she
where
was-
we'll be on September 22nd for TMA
Okay.
Live.
She was talking to her ahead of time, trying to get some brownie points in.
Well, who else would be up there for listener of the
Stephen
year?
Wildwood thinks she's live. He says, I won the effing trivia night.
And he
And
got
he
a
has a
big
huge-
article in the paper.
Yeah, big expose.
Huge. The expose on his wall.
And he's on Mic Drop every day, is becoming a legend.
Oh.
Yeah, he's up there.
Let's see. Manupal Eligible says, I nominate Buck Swope for Listener of the Year due to his fabulous heel turn at trivia night.
He did
Denied.
take a heel turn.
I heard about that.
Denied.
I had COVID at the time, but I definitely watched that video.
He was up on the stage chirping.
Zero forfeits, you clown. Heck had a forfeit. Therefore, by default, I am the fan page club champion.
Oh, I guess I am right. I thought he had a forfeit. Maybe not going in the chat. I thought he had one.
Doug, did the
Maybe not.
Loomster have a forfeit on his way?
No.
We don't have
I
the poster.
know.
I could be wrong. I know Heck did have one, but Heck's a player.
Well, Tim forfeited to somebody. Who'd you forfeit to?
Doug, who did I forfeit
Sudeth.
to? I know you have it up. That's right, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there were like there were like 4 or 5 forfeits, which was a good year for us.
I don't know. The last quarterfinal, from the quarterfinals on, there was like 3 or 4 though. Like everybody played the first and second round, but like right after that, they're
that's
like,
enough. Huh.
I'm gonna have to win it all to break even.
So it's between Stephen Wildwood and the Loomster?
And what about Buck Swope?
And Buck Swope?
No.
I think
With
that
his
heel turn does a negative effect on his Listener of the Year. But
I think he's a guy who's there every year. He's always in the conversation.
Yeah.
Listener of the Year. Doug, should we have a ceremony for the Listener of the Year? Get like Powell Symphony Hall and everybody dressed in
Well,
tux?
everyone's going to be there at Maggie O'Brien's. Maybe we should crown them that night.
Oh, there's still 3 months. You're still for the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's the
look at
off
that.
season.
No, it's the off season for TMA.
Yeah,
it's vacation season.
We just mail it in after September
Nice.
or January through.
Yeah, we get it through sweeps. Is this sweeps week? When's sweeps?
For HD2?
HC2 Sweeps Week is always in early September. I nominate Madison Hedgecock for Listener of the Year for all his Champions Tour crank love he's had. He's a legend. That's from Ernie Bjorkman.
I don't know. D'Angelo Hopkins deserves it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I
that's
think he
another-
may be more deserving than anyone. Brought in the White Castles. Has a couple good text names. Also does amazing TikToks.
Right.
Builds our brand that we need. And
There's
he does
3
really
solid
good.
candidates at least.
He's definitely in the finalists for sure.
Yeah.
You can't, be as dedicated to the
Oh,
show
yeah,
as
that's a
he
good one.
is.
Yeah.
I got a picture of
You can change the subject?
No, I got a picture. No, it's on the picture of D'Angelo Hopkins. I got a picture of Hopkins, I think, getting cucked.
What?
Getting cucked.
Yeah.
Where's this at?
He's a
Sugar
cuckold
Fire?
victim on top of everything else?
I believe it was at the first
That's going to make
first
him
round.
a
The first round
unanimous
of the
selection.
the first round of the Fan Page Club Championship.
It was just guys.
And if you can still get cucked by guys.
You can.
How?
Well,
mean,
Doug, let me
how?
tell you how.
Was there
You go to the woods.
man-on-man action going on?
Yeah, you look at that, Tim. Who's in the background there? Looks like he's getting cucked.
I see Todd Callahan's grabbing Cletus's love, and is that D'Angelo Hopkins in the back? I can't tell.
Yeah, that's him in the green shorts.
I just can't get
Todd.
over the fact that Todd has a full handful.
Back there
Yeah,
watching.
he really is grabbing his love.
I mean, it's look at the hand, Doug.
God.
It is literally cusping
Well,
the balls.
don't say cusping. Why would you do that?
I'm just explaining the photo because it looked like he looked away a little bit, so I wanted to explain it to you.
The Kansas City Gray Sexual has just nominated Becky Wiesberger, the
Yep.
Harvard doctor. Doug,
She
you were
won
always
4 years.
suspicious of whether or not she was.
Oh, just a wee bit. Just a little bit.
She and the Barnhart Brawler were close on the fan page. Hey guys, Becky Wiesberger, the doctor from WashU and Harvard, got convicted in federal court in February for stealing $100,000 from a charity in Illinois. Sounds like Listener of the Year in material to me, and then includes a link to a story giving Becky Wiesberger's real name. Pled guilty on Thursday to a 2-count felony information charging her with theft from an organization receiving federal funds and aggravated identity theft.
Damn.
God, again.
That's a
She
big
served as the Director of Human Relations for Call for Help, Inc., beginning in 2016. Call for Help is a long-standing charitable organization in East St. Louis
that helps people overcome a variety of personal crises ranging from sexual assault and poverty to homelessness and mental health issues. The organization receives federal funds annually to assist in carrying out its missions. The federal charges carrying a mandatory minimum prison sentence were appropriate here because the defendant stole so much money that would have provided needed services to vulnerable victims, including sexual assault survivors and the homeless.
Stealing money from the homeless.
Bro, you're getting worked on.
Following her termination from the organization, Call for Help discovered that, we won't give the real name, had also fraudulently submitted requests for reimbursements that she was not entitled to from the organization that exceeded $100,000. These reimbursements were paid to her. In addition to the charge relating to her theft from Call for Help, she also pled guilty to aggravated identity theft. Court documents allege that in connection with her mortgage application, she submitted a fraudulent income verification with a forged signature of the Director of Quality Assurance at Call for Help. Theft from an organization receiving federal funds carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000. She faces a mandatory sentence of 2 years imprisonment for aggravated identity theft, which must run consecutive to any sentence imposed on the fraud count. In addition, she could also be ordered to pay restitution to her victims. So she was scheduled to sentence on May 26th. I don't know if we have an update as to what her sentence was. Yeah, she got me, and I didn't want to talk about it because I was worried, she would show up at the station. In 2000, we were at 9:20 for sure. And when we were in the Central West End, so it wouldn't have been 2016, and represented that she was an ad buyer for a roofing company in St. Louis, ran up a tab of, I can't remember what it was, I guess it doesn't matter, material dollars though, not six figures, but up there, and had me, said she had the check, and then gave me her address, the same woman who then became Becky Wiesberger, who now is pled guilty, to pick up the check at her house. House was in a, inside the city of St. Louis in a spot, so to speak.
Oh, I've probably been to that spot.
Yeah, and it's under the mat, and so there was nothing there. And then...
You actually went there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
wasn't that a tip-off that something was goofy? I mean, nobody...
Oh, certainly was.
Nobody pays and says, come get it, it's under my...
That had never happened. I mean, it never happened. It's easy to say that after the fact, but it was me and Melissa Marr and Anna Marie and Justin Boyd were essentially running, and Seymour were running that whole station, with the exception of course, everybody who was on the air. But as far as the management of it, it's not like there was a 24-person sales staff like we have here, a 22-person sales staff like we have here. So you had to go do what you had to do just to keep the thing going. And so I go there, and then I remember calling her. And she said something along the lines of, oh, no, I gave you the wrong address. It's next door. So it just kept going with this wild goose chase. And somehow we got tipped off. And I don't recall how we got tipped off. And Melissa went out there. And she did work at this place. She did. But she was like the receptionist. She had no power to be an ad buyer. And she was just like an obsessed fan. And so this was her way to have... contact, and so her way to have contact was to act like she was buying advertising. And then we talked, of course, with the owner of the business. The owner of the business goes, she's a receptionist. She's, we didn't make this ad buy. I'm sorry. Like I said, the money counted, man. Yeah. It counted for our business. It would count for this business, much less our little thing. And and then her next way to get close was to become Becky Wiesberger. And of all the creepy things that have happened with listeners over the year, I don't know if it would be top 5. So, to drive home, why sometimes
I just don't know that we can make her listener of the year now. I think she's lost that. There.
She's now doing time, which makes me feel more comfortable telling the story.
The slammer?
Well, there's a chance because we've never gotten to see her. I think.
Well, I know exactly what she looks like.
Yeah, we've seen pictures of her now. I think Brother Abear found out that she was selling appliances to listeners, and then we did see a picture of her, but she was using a Latino actress's picture as her. I forgot the actress's name.
Sarah Santiago. Or
Santiago.
Susan Santiago.
Susan Santiago.
I know that.
But now that she's in jail, I'll see if maybe I go to that jail and I do a sit-down one-on-one.
Nice.
What's going on here? What has happened? Where did this all lead to? Where did you become Becky Wiesberger? Maybe I get a one-on-one with her.
How did she...
I'm not sure she's going to tell the truth based on past behavior. Guys, I nominate Larson Woods Wacko for Listener of the Year for someone who has to live with the fact that they reside in a neighborhood that borders a Wendy's and a Lion's Choice and belongs to a semi-private club who will accept anyone with a couple dollars in their pocket. He could really use a pick-me-up. That's from Mr. Licks.
Hey, they got a Circle 7 ranch out by Warson.
That's more De Pere, isn't it?
Is it?
I think that's De Pere.
Doug, is that De Pere?
Yeah, but honestly...
Circle 7 is definitely De Pere.
That Circle 7 is...
Pope Road in Manchester?
Yeah, that's it.
But from that Schnucks there on Manchester, right where the 590 studios were, to Circle 7, that is like 8 minutes, 6 minutes at max. How is...
Yeah.
I mean, that's still in that corridor area.
Oh, there's 20 municipalities in that room.
It's insane.
If you go up McKnight and go all the way to like 270, you'll pass 8 different municipalities.
Yeah, that's nuts. I thought it was what was weird that you had like Oakland, Glendale, Kirkwood, like that, like trio, just like in this little area. Yeah,
Part of the
Circle
quirk of St. Louis County. So many municipalities.
So many.
Not really necessary, but
whoa,
there they are.
whoa.
Isn't there a
There they are.
Marlboro?
There's a Marlboro.
Yeah, because it's Hugh from Marlboro texted Balloon Park.
Like 2,300 people live in
Like,
Marlboro.
unbelievable.
Not to be confused
I couldn't
with
tell if
rural.
Hugh was yesterday on, because I said, and Doug, don't you share this opinion as well? Because if you do look at cities around the country now, having stadiums downtown isn't necessarily the way that they are going.
Yeah.
You know?
Chicago about to move out of.
That's
the
how we
Bears.
got on the topic.
Yeah.
Some guy kept texting and going, I want your guys' opinion on the Bears moving to Arlington. And just to get the guy to stop, I go, hey, Jackson, you got to take. And the next thing you know, I was labeled as a bougie wasp because I wanted to.
Yep.
Because I want to go, for one, I'm Irish. Number 2, I'm Catholic. And number 3, I'm from the actual city of St. Louis. I know that's not necessarily commonplace, and my family's still there. And just because I look at things from what I consider to be, of course, who doesn't think their thoughts are logical, but a logical perspective of it might be in the best interest of organizations to move more toward the population center, the customer base, as opposed to just trying to do something that made more sense in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. But if that makes me a bougie white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, then...
Yeah, it's only the Catholic thing that knocks you out of being a WASP.
Matt Rocchio told me I couldn't be...
What? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant?
I don't know. He told
You're
me,
Anglo-Saxon?
He said I was an Anglo-Saxon.
How's that?
I don't know. He interrupted the show to say it, and I said, I didn't know.
He said it off the air while we were on.
He jumped in.
And they just kept gesturing at us.
Stadium
I
should
gave a
be
piece of my mind afterwards.
No, I guess I qualify as a WASP.
Are you a bougie wasp?
I don't know what bougie...
Jackson, can we get a bougie
I don't know
wasp
about
t-shirt?
that.
That would go well.
Got Fog Allen over here.
Imagine
Well,
that
you're a
tweet when we
wasp,
dropped
too.
that shirt.
I ain't no WASP.
Are you a Protestant?
I'm Presbyterian.
So am I. That makes you a WASP. You're a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Is that the same?
Great
What?
moment. This
Starts with a P.
pepperoncini's going to be off the
Presbyterian
chain.
is definitely Protestant.
Okay.
Starts with a P.
It doesn't have to start with a P. It's just that you're a Protestant.
Doug, if you're a Methodist, you can be a WASP.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're a Baptist, you can be a WASP.
Yes.
Lutheran, WASP.
Yes.
But what about...
What am I, a WASC?
No, you're Catholic.
Yeah, WASC.
You're
So
out.
you're not a WASP.
But you're still bougie.
White Anglo-Saxon Catholic. WASC.
So what's in the Protestant family? Just Presby?
Not just Presbyterian. Tim just named several others. Methodist, Lutheran, Baptist,
Yeah, we have a ton of churches.
Church
in
of
Canton.
Christ, and things like that.
Yeah, I'm Presby. Represent it.
Yeah. Represented.
That's another T-shirt, Jackson. Guys, that was a harrowing story from Tim on identity theft, and the show's running with it, followed by a ham-handed maneuver by Boots to turn the spotlight on himself with a prison interview. It's amazing. It's from Brian Henshin. I think that was a compliment.
How is it about me? I just go in and interview her and see if I can't get some information.
Will you
out of
actually
her.
do anything to make that happen?
If I find out what prison she's at, I'll ask for an interview.
Well, you can type in a name and do a prison search, and it'll tell you where everybody is.
Well,
They have those websites.
Yeah, I'm
If
guessing.
someone you think is in prison, you type in their name, they'll give you the picture and the mugshot and tell you right where
I'm
they
guessing Potosi. I think that's the women's prison. That's where I was going to go visit that prison pal I had.
Cut that off.
are. Potosi's a women's prison?
I think it's in Potosi.
I don't know.
We'll
I don't know.
see. Now I'll have to see if my Tascam works.
Oh, yeah, you had a problem with that at the AVNs, didn't you?
Oh, no, not the Tascam.
Well, I think the mics were like pointed out, so it didn't get like.
No, I couldn't record. It said it was full.
You could just bring your cell phone and plug a mic into that and go back and forth with the microphone.
I'm really not putting much thought into it right now.
You're not going to do this at all, are you?
I'll do it. I'm
You
just not
won't
putting
do
thought
it.
into it now. I don't even know what prison. I don't even know she's been sentenced yet.
Okay.
A lot of times they put these things off.
Oh, the hammer gonna drop on her.
Because there were multiple issues before the thing that we had at Inside STL in 920. The Becky Wiesberger thing, while certainly for our audience anyway, the most well-known thing if you're on the fan page. But I mean, yeah, there's been criminal behavior before, and which is why I didn't want to talk about it on the radio. Because I'm like, okay, this is the kind of person who's going to show up at the station. So for a period of time when we were in the Central West End, we would be on the lookout. The police were on the lookout on the off chance, because it was obsessive behavior, not because of identity theft, because it was obsessive behavior. It was just wanting to be close.
And she did nothing basically to us except lying who she was, and she should get 5 years for standing me and Chrissy Runagirl up. Nice. Train wreck.
I don't think you get 5 years for that.
I would politely disagree that she's
But
nothing
it
to
wouldn't
us.
take much of a lawyer to get her off of that.
If you're counting on what was, a substantial portion of our revenue on paper anyway, and all of a sudden you find out, I don't know, X amount months in that it was, you're not going to be getting paid, and there was no legal ground for us to stand on,
And we ran the ads?
Yeah. It was quite a situation.
Yeah. She did. I didn't even know about that, because when we knew she was Becky Wiesberger, I mean, she really did nothing illegal.
That happened. The thing
us.
with the roofing company was 14-15 had to be, because again, I can picture being in the Central West End and getting out of my car and going, okay, we got this officer here, we got this situation here, let's see what we got today. So I knew that was Central West End. And then with the Wiesberger thing, that I remember talking to you at the St. Charles studios. And I said, I don't know what it was, but I think somebody had emailed me or something, that person isn't real. But she was so political, and as weird as it sounds, because it was only 6 years ago, I don't think things were as politically divided in 2016 as they are now, which is crazy to say, but because it's only 6 years ago. But that was the reason, like, okay, this would be somebody who's conservative, who doesn't like her liberal views, and so they're just making up that she's not real, and we've got all these people who create different accounts anyway, and, whatever. And but the fan page was only a few months old, and that started in 2016, or this page started in 2016. And I think that's when you said, I'll go to lunch with her. And then what happened? She no-showed or what?
Yeah. I mean, she backed out of it, and then when I think Kevin Hebert came up with all kinds of facts, and somebody came up with a picture of Susan Santiago.
Susan Santiago, which was the image Becky Wiesberger, the doctor from Harvard, Doug was using on the fan page.
Wasn't just the doctor from Harvard set everybody off,
I
raise
like
a
to
few red
wash
flags?
you.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, she would talk about, I have to go into surgery and all this other, whatever she was doing.
And you blocked that.
And, I had no reason to say she's lying. It wasn't like
Well,
I
there
was
would be a
dating or
reason. This
anything.
is a stupid-ass radio show, and you've got a doctor from Harvard saying they've got to go into surgery, and they'll get right to you in a moment.
But when all that came out, that she wasn't this person, I said, well, we'll figure it out. Me and Chrissy will ask her to lunch. And I had her phone number, and I texted her, and she said, oh, yeah, what time? That'd be great. And then she didn't show up. And I kept texting her, where are you? We're here. Where are you? And then she wouldn't get back to me. So then we knew that she was fake.
And $100,000 for a local East St. Louis charity is almost like a yearly, that's
like a lot.
of money for a local charity like that.
I would agree with you. Yeah, and Anna Marie is listening, and she just texted. She goes, remember when she had you had Edmonds waiting for her? How about that? Because I was doing a show with Edmonds at the time, and I had to leave, not sure what the circumstances were, and our offices were in that building where his restaurant was. And he goes, yeah, I'll just hang out and wait for her if you have to go. And she was going to drop off a check for this number that she said. And like I said, it's a decent amount of money, certainly material to our budget at that time. So it was just constant BS. But that's kind of the tactic of the identity theft.
But yeah, I'd be curious to hear because Melissa went out there, and I go, I bet she doesn't even work there. And then she goes out there, and she's there. And I'm going, oh my God, so she does work there.
Wouldn't you have thought that the owners of that company would have heard from somebody that they had a bunch of ads running on the radio somewhere that they didn't buy?
I don't know. I mean, listen. I mean, I get it because now, with the benefit of hindsight, you go, "My God, how'd you not know? How'd you not know? How'd you not know?" But it happened. I mean, I know you know. I'm obviously not making it up. It's just, it was insane. It was insane. But again, she had done other stuff, and now KC Gray Sexual is sending in some previous things because you can find them on STL today before our thing with I guess to get mortgages. So I mean, that's pretty, quote unquote, sophisticated to be able to get that done. I mean, this was, again, it's not something you pay a compliment to. She was committed to the task.
Yeah, I don't doubt that she was clever enough to do it. I would have just thought that the owners of this roofing company, at some point, someone would have said, "Hey, I heard your ad on the radio," and you said, "What?"
Yeah,
we got an
I
ad
don't know.
on
I
the
mean, I
radio?
suppose she's the receptionist. She was the receptionist.
Who were you sending invoices to?
To her, I mean, if somebody makes the bad buy right now, even they say, "Where do you want to send them?" You send them to the person who gives you the contact information. So, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, you know.
Oh, I know. I'm not blaming you. I was just thinking you would send it to the. I was thinking you'd send it to
it was
the company.
a scam, and it happens. I mean, we've had companies advertise, not many, but I can think of one, not with us for a while, who just had a significant bill and just went out of business. It's essentially the same kind of thing. You're counting on the money coming in, and anybody who's in, you know, if they own a business, or even if you don't own a business, you're counting on dollars coming in. Company files for bankruptcy, you become a creditor, and you're probably not going to get your money. This was a different kind of way of not getting your money. Very creative one. And then she went Becky Wiesbergering. And then, same year, 2016, she's stealing $100,000 from an East St. Louis charity.
It almost seems like there's a pattern developing.
Yeah, starting to see something.
And then on the flip side, we have some of the greatest sponsors you could ever have.
Yeah.
Unbelievable people
Yeah.
that sponsored this show, man. They're fantastic.
Amen.
Yeah. So she's out as listener of the year.
Probably
we
not
just
going to
came
get
to
it
that
now.
conclusion. Yeah.
I mean, the Loomster Fan Page Club Championship, or second place, where he's saying he should have won it because he didn't get a forfeit. Yeah. And he got the MFF date with Lisa in. To me, he's the front runner. I respect Stephen Wildwood's year.
What about even Chris Heck created unbelievable head covers and destroyed an entire field for a Fan Page Club Championship title? I mean, it's not a long resume.
Did he have any close matches?
meaty.
Doug, you have
no, not one.
I don't have
results.
anything. I don't have anything.
Not one.
Ah, the thing's gone. I took it.
Well, that was part of the prize.
I know.
The dude absolutely just destroyed everyone.
Yeah. I think D'Angelo Hopkins has got to be considered too. With his TikTok.
That would be my vote.
Yeah, D'Angelo Hopkins has to be live.
Yeah. Just
Buck
what
Swope
he
to me has to be perennial. It's like you pencil Alabama into the college football playoff.
I think it would be better if Buck Swope finished second, so he would complain about that.
Well,
he would come up with a bunch of reasons why he should have been
Stats.
first.
Berate me.
I throw in tiebreakers. If it's close, I look at who donated things to Gobble Bowl. ED has given 4 bobbleheads to Gobble Bowl.
Yeah,
so
Lumster's good people.
Yeah, he's kind of moved up a little bit.
He's a cuck.
Wow, he got a compliment, and then he took a shot right there.
Well, he knows. I look at him as a submissive cuck.
Lisa Ann?
He's
Anything
just
happen
very. He just sat in the corner there while Lisa Ann and the girl had a conversation on
Well,
the
there's
stage.
no sex involved. That's not cucking.
Well, I mean, you were talking
Unless they were
about,
making out.
You
and
just
then-
showed a picture of D'Angelo Hopkins standing a mile behind Callahan and Cletus.
Well, there's kissing and crotch grabbing going on. That's considered sexual.
Well, this is a potential date. I feel like
Now, if they were making out and saying, oh, look at that loser over there, then, yeah, you're cucked.
Gosh, we just can't really wrap our head around a definition. We've been trying for a long time. Still can't define it.
Buck Swope just texted me asking if Becky was the receptionist making ad buys for the sticker bus. Remember the sticker bus ads? One of the stranger ad campaigns. Didn't last long.
No, that was.
How did they make any money off of that?
I'm not sure what the business model was.
Yeah.
I think they didn't know what they were doing, but they did believe in it.
I remember there was a time where we had that. We had Pocket Tube.
Pocket Tea.
And we had the Soda Press podcast that we pitched. It was some guys were doing a podcast and they wanted media, like advertising. So we pitched that, and all three of those were on at the same time for a period of time.
I don't remember the sticker bus thing.
So funny.
It was a brief thing. I'd like to know the background. We need to have Marmar Banks in and
so is it just
give some. We got a lot of questions, and she would have some answers.
So is a bus you just slapped a sticker on?
I believe
Correct.
so.
Yeah,
So how is anybody making money?
Like I said, I'm not sure what the business model was.
Where
I
was
don't know if they did, but they did
It
believe
moved,
in it.
Jackson, like they would have
So come to like a
location.
school picnic and kids can
Not
put
necessarily.
stickers on
They
it?
wouldn't come to events, but they would make it. Like they would, hey, we're here at Central
Like
West End.
Fredbird? Like here's
Yeah.
the sticker bus for your business opening?
100% like a Fredbird kind of meet and greet style. That's how they would throw it out
Didn't
there.
they
You're like
eventually
first
put-
draft of the idea there.
It was rough.
Eventually, they put stickers on the windows, and they couldn't see to drive, so they shut down the bus.
They just put it right there.
Yeah, I mean, it has a shelf life. Your bus eventually is going to lose real estate.
Guys, Becky was the CEO of Pocket Tube. Thanks. That's from the Wentzville Ween Geeker.
Pocket Tube might be the greatest, funniest time
Ahead of
in
its
radio
time.
history, bro. Like
By a handful of months. By a handful of months.
This is really ahead of its time.
Yeah, they had the right idea.
they were so close, but yet they didn't try at all.
Yeah. Like
It took them 4 days in spring training to get their first video.
Yeah.
Theoretically, they could have been Zoom.
And then
they
we were doing Periscope just a short while after
For
that.
months, I remember we did the Pocket Tube thing at spring training. I don't recall. It was either 15 or 16. And then I was playing in the World Series Poker main event, I guess, if that's February, March, 3 months later. And I'm using Periscope, doing chats from Las Vegas. And I'm going, God, this is exactly what Pocket Tube was supposed to be. But all I
Yeah.
did was hit this one button, and now I'm live using my phone.
Yeah.
And it took those guys a week, and it still didn't work.
Well, they
It
wanted to
wasn't
use
a-
their own cameras, didn't they? They weren't using phones.
Yes, and they also, if I remember correct, they got there 4 days early. So
Site survey.
it took them.
It's like Prod Joe
it
did
actually
that, I
took
think.
them 8
Rod
total
Jonas took
days.
shrapnel.
And
Well,
they-
he used to get there like 5 days before just to set up the equipment and make sure everything worked.
That's the job I want. I want to do site surveys. Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
hold my
I don't
phone
think
'cause
this
I'm about to get a
location,
text.
this location won't work. Yeah, I like it here.
And
text,
Pocket
but he knows
Tube
he
had
did
like,
it.
remember they had the hotel right by the stadium. They
Yeah.
had like premier lodging.
And four
And we're
union guys
still
walking
late.
around acting like they really knew the business.
That was
They really knew what they were doing.
Guys, did that bed sheet store in Brooklyn have the same reception as that's from Aunt Peg?
At least that's like an actual. They're still like. I mean, that's a good company. It's
Yeah, questionable marketing strategy to advertise the Brooklyn in
Look,
Brooklyn, in St. Louis.
100% agree with that. But they are an actual store.
The media buyer got drunk.
Yard in St.
He
Louis.
was plastered.
And that's one of the only companies, because most of the companies, as you can tell with our live reads, were ad-libbing, but that was one of the few companies where you have to read it verbatim. Some companies want it read verbatim. Some companies say ad-lib and do your thing. It works. And in this case, I have to read it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to start bust up laughing, reading this copy to tell our listeners to go over to Brooklyn.
to buy a bed sheet. I don't know how cost effective that is if the flight itself is going to cost you $600.
Well, Tim's personal stylist one was awesome too. The
Oh, yeah.
copy was phenomenal.
Oh, God.
That was when Charlie had to read it
Charlie
for
had to
Tim, and
read
he
it.
couldn't finish.
And I mean, I don't even know how that happened. Because I wear the same crap every day. I'm
Right.
either golfing, running, working out, whatever. That's it. I rarely.
This is pre-golf. This is. I
Yeah, you're right. It
thought
was
in
pre-golf,
Waikiki.
but I don't know. I mean, I guess it was a spot where you had to, whatever. And she did exist. She did exist.
And she had good style. But like it was so funny because Tim would wear like the gym shorts and the white shirt and a hat.
Here's the personal style. Yeah, go to Target. You can get this style. Guys, no charitable donations to hot dog stands got harmed as a part of this scam, right? Thank you. That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Just the hungry and the poor.
Yep, that's it. All right, we got a break because it's 8:37, and we're still in the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open. Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com, in studio today with one of my favorites, Tim McKernan, the man, the myth, the legend. We're here at Hubbard Radio. I checked out the new studio today.
What do you think?
The wallpaper is fabulous.
How about that?
Man, that's like 10, 11 years in the making.
It really was.
One of the best investments, one of the best deals I've ever done. I've said that over a decade. I still mean that. But the good work that the show has done, the money that's been raised, the community, the culture, everything about it. I'm a TMA limiting for life, you know. I don't know what else to say about that, except if you need a mortgage, visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Deagle Truck Center has been the St. Louis area's go-to medium-duty truck dealer since 1933. Deagle Truck Center is a union shop looking for technicians and bodymen for both their Hazelwood and St. Louis locations, offering the highest rates of pay in the area, plus benefits. An authorized Hino and Isuzu dealer, Deagle's friendly and knowledgeable staff is prepared to make sure you have the best experience. Stop by the Hazelwood location to see their large selection of pre-owned inventory. Visit DeagleTruckCenter.com to learn more. That's DEGEL truckcenter.com.
There's a lot of common sense and Western wisdom like don't squat with your spurs on and always drink upstream from the herd. And there's also some Western wisdom that's less common, like never steal from a bear, which you can't make for yourself, or a man doesn't know his worth until he's eye to eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad. I'm sure there's a good lesson in there somewhere, but there's one lesson that is perfectly clear. Fistful of Bourbon is an award-winning blend of 5 straight bourbons and as smooth as a banker on Friday. Get wise, pick up a bottle a day. Don't be a damn fool. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. This is Tim McKernan. I'd like to tell you about a company I started just a couple of years ago and they still own. And it's called Sound Story. It's essentially a 1-hour interview that we do either in person or via Zoom with mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They come in and they tell their stories, education, growing up, and of course, family stories, the wisdom that they can share with their loved ones for generations to come. It's an audio heirloom. It's Sound Story. To learn more, go to mysoundstory.com.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalitas. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled-high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 7, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
The Classic Car Show and Concert, September 25th at the Factory in Chesterfield, with performances by Jackal. When will it rain? I feel the heat burning through my shoes. And Stephen Piercy from Ratt. Tickets for the concert on sale now. Got a classic car you want to show off? Vehicle registration is open now. The Classic Car Show and Concert. A day of fun for the family and a night of rock.
Find out how to get tickets at thefactorystl.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at TMASTL.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
That just gets you fired up for a Busman special.
Yeah.
Here in the fan cave, ripping birds on the bat. Rest of the league, man, they can't handle that. I reckon Crew's gonna make the ball go splat. Your team, dude, is gonna need another pitcher stat. 11-11, now it's 12-12. Riley Squirrels last year, put him on the shelf. This year it's Matty Freeze, Craig, and Beltran. We've got the best ever, talking about Stan the Man. I go from the monster to the home run slide. Not wearing a Cards cap, you're just on the wrong side. Another World Series ring is all I want to see now.
Welcome back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. It's the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour, getting underway at 8:44. If you are in need of an appliance right away, you won't wait weeks at Appliance Discounters. They have an 80,000 square foot warehouse filled with GE appliances along with other brands. You can't wait weeks. When your refrigerator, washer, dryer goes out, come in to one of the showrooms today, and they will deliver tomorrow. If you're building or remodeling your home and don't need your appliances right away, they can hold them for you. And remember, you can always shop online at theappliancediscounters.com, sponsor of our 8 o'clock hour away from the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, coming your way at 9:45. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. Anne has won in September.
Sure she has.
The collector of butt plugs has won in September.
Okay.
Gunter has won in September, and Kevin Miller's trying to get one that he feels like he should have gotten in August. He's going to try and get it in the month of September. Cardinals with a Busman's special today. Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina are going to set a record, Doug. They are making history with their 324th career start today as a battery.
This is the record setter?
That's right.
Not tie it. This breaks the Lolich Freehand record?
They're tying it.
They're tying Lolich and Freehand. Okay.
That's right.
That's pretty amazing stuff. And to think that Wainwright, for him, there should be no end in sight. I mean, I could see him pitching another 2-3 years. Right now, he's probably the best they've got.
If the Cardinals playoff started today, who's got the ball game one?
Oh, him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then probably...
And who?
Then probably Montgomery second.
Yeah, I think they would go Michaelis, but I think Montgomery's the one I would.
Yeah, he's definitely pitched better. He's pitched better than everybody here the last 2 months. But yeah, I would go Wainwright, Montgomery, Michaelis. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Well, there's still a few weeks before the Cardinals and the Padres, the Phillies.
Looks like the
Brewers
Padres right now
will play in the first round, all at Busch Stadium, starting on October 7th. I guess it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, that'd be fun.
A little weekend tilt.
Yeah.
How do you do?
Well, I'm fine.
St. Gabriel picnic that Saturday. I wonder if they'll move it around for that.
What time is the picnic? Because that'll
All
determine
day.
the game time.
And then the after party.
Man, I went there. I've been to St. Gabe's picnic one time.
Greatest day of your life?
Dude, I got trashed.
Yep.
Did you?
I got... Yeah.
What'd you drink?
Scotch.
A lot.
The Scotch booth.
And then, like, it was just when I think I started on the show, so I still had a lot of fans. Lost a lot of them after the takes, especially the Bill Russell one. But yeah, I went to like the Chuck-a-Luck stand, and that was a lot of fun.
Was it?
Isn't that what they call it?
Yep, Chuck-a-Luck.
Okay. It was a great time.
Well, if that is the same day as one of the Cardinal playoff games, I would suspect that they will find a way to rain out the baseball game.
I agree with that.
Well, Bailey's will find a way to not show it on TV, which is going to be super nice.
It's like, you shouldn't be here. You should be at the grade school party.
I cannot wait. It's weird. I was thinking this last night. Is my damn Cardinal broadcast stream was hitching and buffering for the October broadcast, in which I won't have to deal with that.
They still have game. Fox is still MLB. Playoffs?
They rotate back and forth on the NLCS and ALCS
Gotcha.
between them and TBS, and then they'll have the World Series.
I like the Fox graphics, everything about Fox baseball. Super awesome.
That's what you like.
Yes.
That's what I like. Doug, you like Mark Milton. He's at STLTaxLawyer.com.
Anyone who has worked with Mark Milton likes Mark Milton. He's been around our show. He's been in the studio. We've talked to him many times. I've used him for my own taxes. Just a fantastic guy.
Yes, sir.
And he's the guy you want in your corner if you have any kind of tax problems. And you've probably heard by now, the IRS is receiving an additional $80 billion in funding to increase enforcement and audits of taxpayers. If that news worries you a bit, contact former Department of Justice Tax Division Attorney Mark Milton at STLTaxLawyer.com. If you have unfiled tax returns, now is the time to act. Mark and his team focus on tax debt resolution and can help with years of unfiled tax returns, defense against audits, and even criminal tax investigations. Clean up your tax issues and get yourself back into compliance before all those new IRS agents are hired and enforcement really ramps up. If you have IRS problems, contact the STL Tax Lawyer, Mark Milton, at STLTaxLawyer.com, and you'll be saying to the IRS, hey, IRS, I'm not guilty, I'm with Milty. And remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on adverts.
There it is. Mark Milton, loyal sponsor of the Ryan Kelly Morning After, just like Seth Goldcamp and Design Air Heating and Cooling. This forecast is the bee's knees, Doug.
God, I love it.
Oh, Plowhawk, how do you
So
do,
beautiful.
everybody?
Oh,
I mean, we'll have a high of 82 today. You know, why live in San Diego when you can live in St. Louis, Doug?
For September, anyway. September's our best month.
Yeah, and 83 tomorrow, no precipitation. 82 on Saturday, no precipitation. Next week, you look at the same kind of deal. One day has possible precipitation. Iggy, is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, just one day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's Sunspit?
Yeah, and Monday for the Mega Mare Foundation, it's just going to be gorgeous.
Nice. That's good news. If you do run into air conditioning problems, go to designairservice.com and work with the great Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling. They will have a service technician out there quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show. Doug's a client. I'm a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client as well? The pettiness between Live Golf and the PGA Tour continues unabated and is now spread to spouses.
Yeah, I saw this.
This is getting bad, boys.
Nikki Kuidish.
You didn't say that with a lot of confidence.
No, it's Nikki Kuidish.
Kuidish? What kind of pronunciation
Italian.
is that?
Yeah, it is.
It's Dutch.
Who is engaged to Patrick Cantlay, shared some photos on Instagram from a jaunt. Don't you say jaunt or jaunt?
I say jaunt.
To wine country in Napa with Xander Schauffele and his wife Maya. Good wine, better company, Guidish wrote.
Oh, brother, we should work on the names before we read the
Is
story.
this what we're looking into, or is there more to the caption?
No, I don't know because they spell it two different ways in the first two paragraphs in this New York Post article. In a comment that has since been deleted but was preserved by Golf.com, Ashley Perez, wife of Live golfer Pat Perez, interjected that it looked like a snooze fest. I'm sorry, Ashley Perez wrote, that doesn't look like fun at all. And then she added Z's emoji to hammer her point home. This comes during a week where the friction between the PGA Tour and Saudi-backed Live Golf has been reaching a fever pitch. There's some awkwardness at the BMW PGA Championship, an event at the DP World Tour, formerly called the European Tour, where PGA and Live golfers are both on the card. A group including Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, and Ian Poulter had what was termed as a tense meeting with DP World Tour CEO Keith Pelley. Also involving the BMW Championship, PGA Tour player Billy Horschel asked a crew of Live golf players who had not previously played many, if any, DP World Tour events, why are you here?
No.
Billy's DP Pro career, 2013 to today. Taylor Gooch, one of Live golf players named in Horschel's tweet, responded, 64 events, 58 major World Golf Championship, 2022 Scottish PGA Tour events, 6 pure DP events in total. I wonder how many he got money to play in his first non-major WGCP appearance, 2019 BMW. He supports what's best for his career, like all of us do.
Dude, this is getting hilarious. I love this. I love every second of it.
Well, I don't love the Perez.
I didn't get why she had to interject in that. That one's weird.
Looks like a
It's just-
snooze fest. Yeah, it's a really. I'm sure you're excited when your husband's getting champagne thrown on him 3 straight week outings because he shot a 82 and won the tournament in a team event. You're really happy about that.
Doug, he's, of course, part of your favorite club on Live, the Four Aces.
Yeah, I've been a Four Aces fan for days.
This is going to get so much worse, too. You know, in terms of once, you know, there's legal actions, you know, players are suing leagues and other like, it's just, it is so bad. And the PGA is petty. I'm not saying Live Golf isn't, but the PGA could not have handled this situation worse if it tried. Like, they are just super petty. And now they have Rory McIlroy and JT as, like, their voices, now Billy Ho. It is super, it is super odd how the PGA has handled this. And now you can't backtrack. You can't go to Live and go, okay, let's work out a deal or something. I mean, they went all in on this Saudi-backed golf league. There's nothing they can do about it now. And they're losing. They just lost the second best player in the world, and they're just lost Joaquin Neiman as well, who's a 23-year-old superstar. Like, it's getting real, and I don't know how the PGA is just not mature enough to handle it.
Well, they're just following rules. I mean, this is all new to everybody, although Norman's been trying to do this for like 20 years. Yeah. They just follow rules. You can't meet your commitments on this tour, and you want to go play another tour.
But they're not. They're independent contractors. Seriously, PGA ain't going to get destroyed legally if they go to court for this, because independent contractors should be able to do what they please, because you're not getting a salary from this company. There's potential weeks where you lose money playing on the tour. It just makes no sense how the PGA can own your name, image, likeness, not pay you a salary, and tell you what tournament to play in. That, to me, is super crazy.
Well, no player's ever sued over that, and that's been going on for 40 years.
Well, people just now it's changing. Now people
they had no alternative before.
Yeah, there was nothing they could come out and say that, but there was nowhere where they could go. Now players are really voicing their opinion that they felt for 20-plus years. If you're not paying me a salary, I can go to this tour and play. That is plain and simple.
Well, part of your deal with Live is that you have to play in those tournaments. So that's 14 tournaments that you have to play in.
Yep.
And these players aren't playing more than 20, 22 tournaments a year. So there's a lot of PGA Tour events they're not going to play in. Mm-hmm. And part of their contract is you have to play in so many events, and they're not going to be able to commit to that, so they're not fulfilling their deal as part of a PGA Tour player.
But Harrison's brother Master says, "Is Plowboy really this dense? The PGA Tour will likely prevail in court. They're doing everything they can." That's from Harrison's brother Master.
And just maybe I'm naive in terms of what the definition of an independent contractor is, but they paying you a salary, they should not be able to dictate what you do. And in terms of, they don't own any of the 4 majors as well, and so the PGA going after these players not being able to play in Augusta or playing the British, they don't own that, you know.
Well, the other DP runs the Open. What?
I just don't know why it had to be so petty. Like, why players had to be so pissed.
Augusta's
everybody's making millions on both tours. Everyone's making money.
It seems to me
what does it matter?
I don't know how much money the Live guys have got left. If it is indeed limitless, and it appears to be at the moment.
It is.
It seems like if they could get another 8 to 10 of the top players on the PGA Tour throw ridiculous money at some of these guys that are holdouts now, that might just about crush it.
Yeah, the Cam Smith, Joaquin Neiman thing, I think, is a huge hit to the PGA
Tour. If you take away a few more of the really big names on the PGA Tour, that's going to be significant damage.
You'll always have JT, Rahm.
Maybe.
And McIlroy. Those guys can't back out of what they've said. They can't go to that.
Unless somebody comes with a check for $150 million.
Well, they've already come with that with those players.
Yeah, John Rahm could get $200 million if he wanted.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't discount anything at this point.
People are really mad at the Plowhawk on his opinion.
And that's fine. That's fine. I mean,
I don't know. I'm curious what part of it is.
I mean, I'm not bashing.
But I'm open to whatever. Tervis Parrish, Doug, says there are certain requirements regarding number of events. They can drop the bans, and the Live guys will still lose membership. Once again, Plowsy is wildly incorrect.
I don't know that that's fair.
The legal team of Plowsy, and Hogg. It's from the 314.
Well, I just don't know what leg the PGA Tour has to stand on in some of these arguments. Now, the 22 event requirement, I get that, but
I agree that it's tough to not pay players a salary and expect to be in total control of everything that they do.
own their name, image, likeness as well. Like
Yeah.
it's super crazy to me how that deal seems to be fair.
You have Mr. Lix's support. How about that? I don't know if that means anything to you.
I like Lix. He's
He says, "Oh my God, Tervis Parrish, you are a moron. Like I said before, there are a lot of PGA fanboys who look like absolute idiots now that this is all playing out, and they all owe an apology to Phil Mickelson. Plowsy, you're right, and Harrison's brother doesn't know what he's talking about. That's from Mr. Lix.
Well, Mickelson made a great point, too, with that little subtle shot he took at PGA. The PGA Tour without LIV was never going to add any of these exclusive events for the top 50, 75 players. Have all these ability to get cards on the Korn Ferry Tour, the DP Tour. They would have done none of that without LIV. And now all of a sudden the PGA can magically create tournaments, find $200+ million out of nowhere. Phil Mickelson should be thanked by the PGA players and the PGA Tour. He never will. But they magically come up with these huge prize pools and all these events and all these tour cards now are being handed out like candy when they had no plan to do that ever. That to me just shows that the PGA Tour can do what they please, and now that there's some competition, they act like 5-year-olds.
They weren't handed out like candy. I mean, that's all they did was they moved up because these LIV players left and dropped out of the FedEx Cup point standings, and that moved players up. So they didn't give them to anybody. Now, I will agree that all of this stuff has come to fruition, and these players getting $500,000 to start the year, and all these events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all because of LIV. I get that, and I agree with that.
So who is this bad for, other than the people that run the PGA Tour? Who's really losing?
That's it.
Nobody, and they're all gaining big time.
That's why I don't get why is everybody acting so childish? They're all making a ton of money. You don't have to watch LIV Golf. You don't have to be a part of it. That's fine. Who cares?
But there's a couple issues. Number one, if you're suing the PGA Tour, as the LIV players are, you're not suing a company. You're suing the players. The players are the PGA Tour. It's not Jay Monahan. It's the players. So that's why it's become personal. Now the wives, and it's really, I shouldn't say the wives. You have one wife, and it's Ashley Perez, and you might have seen her Instagram post a few months ago, and so there's that situation. But I wouldn't say the wives at the moment are going back and forth. You have one wife, going passive aggressive on Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele.
She doesn't like the Napoli Valley, Napa Valley.
I bet she.
Napoli Valley.
Yeah. So then you also have the television sponsorships for the PGA Tour, and if you're a sponsor of the PGA Tour, whether it be an event or an advertiser, and now your field is lessened, the PGA Tour cannot command as much as they had been commanding before for those events. As you noted, they don't own the Masters, the Open, the U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship, but they do own of course, PGA Tour events. And from a television standpoint, if the product is diluted, then that dilutes advertising dollars. So two big moments are still on the horizon. Number one, does LIV ever get a television deal? And number two, there is a trial. It's just not taking place for a while as to whether or not these players can get their world golf ranking points, because that is what's going to determine the major element. I'm not sure. The first one that's going to have to make a decision is Augusta National for next year. And so Bubba Watson said, if they don't want me, I don't want to be there. He's a two-time Masters winner. Will Augusta National be the one that looks to, rock the boat and then potentially engage in litigation? I have no idea. I haven't received an invite to Augusta. I'm expecting it, just based on.
Roger Goodell got one.
We're kind of cut from the same cloth.
Well, there'll be some openings because if they don't let Watson play or P. Reed.
No, I'm talking about just to be a member. I don't think I can win the Masters. I don't think I can win the Masters.
Well, that's just right.
Don't sell yourself short.
I think I can compete. I don't think I can win it. But I would like to be a member, and I'm excited about extending a membership. So that I don't think that those guys and Condoleezza Rice have a whole lot of interest in going, we are all God only knows the combined net worth of that operation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, yes, let's take a stand here and engage in some litigation. So I'm curious how they will navigate it. But the official World Golf Rankings points are what lead to, major invites.
And that's the reason these live golfers are playing this.
But they tried to get the temporary restraining order, and that was struck down last month. Gooch, Swafford, and I can't recall who the third one was for the FedEx, and that was a win, but for the PGA Tour. So you have those two things that are still out there, and in the meantime, I guess you'll have, the chirp. Billy Horschel and Ian Poulter were having, you can interpret whether or not it was a heated conversation or whether or not they were just talking yesterday on the putting green at the event for the DP World Tour. I don't know. I don't know if anybody saw that video.
Yeah, I did.
I'm kind of surprised that the DP Tour hasn't kind of sided alongside the PGA and let these guys play in their tour. I think there's 13 of them, and they can't play on the PGA Tour, so there's no world ranking points there. They can get them on the DP Tour. That's why these guys are playing, trying to keep up or gain some world ranking points, because otherwise they're not going to be in the majors or the other tournaments.
Beercat says, I'm with Plowsy, and that the PGA fanboys are so blinded by loyalty that they don't use common sense discussing live. Here's something I will insert into the discussion. I don't know who, as far as a quote-unquote private citizen, like an audience member, or anybody on this show, for that matter, would be considered a PGA Tour fanboy. But I have observed, media-wise, what I would describe as, I don't know if I would call it fanboy, but certainly as a level of super supportive of the PGA Tour and more apt to be critical of LIV from media outlets or media personalities.
Shipnick being one of them.
And I wonder what's going on there. I'm just throwing that out there because I don't know. I don't know. The PGA Tour, from my standpoints, attempt to blow up competition, which is what LIV is, was strictly, okay, we're just going to tie it to Saudi Arabia, and that's what we're going to do to blow this thing up, and it didn't work out. And now something that they were laughing about just 9 months ago, not even 9 months ago, hell, it was less than that, 8 months ago, I guess, February, Rory McIlroy's like, who's left? They're laughing about it. Well, now the guy who won the Open and who won the Players is there. Plowhawk, you call Joaquin Niemann a superstar. I think I'm not trying to parse words. My point, but for golfers, I think he's a potential superstar. For somebody, which would make up most of our audience, who doesn't really pay attention closely, and I'm not faulting him for it all, Joaquin Niemann's probably a name a lot of people may be aware of, but they don't necessarily know. But Cam Smith was big, and he's younger. And I was listening to the No Laying Up interview Keith Mitchell, who's kind of a borderline guy. He's won on tour, but it's not like he's a superstar. And he was saying, I don't get mad at guys for going. And he goes, I don't think it's over just because you were in that meeting in Delaware a few weeks ago. Joaquin Niemann was in that meeting. And they knew of the 22 guys who were in that meeting, he was the one that there was a good chance he was going to go. But he goes, because everybody's got a price. And they may have turned down $200 million, but what if the number is $500 million and they eventually get to $500 million? And they go, God, how can we just turn this thing down? So he goes, I don't think it's necessarily over. It just depends on what your personal preference is. Are you looking to compete in majors? Are you looking to compete on the PGA Tour? For Rory McIlroy, he's already made hundreds of millions of dollars. Tiger Woods has as well. And from my standpoint, competition is good. I think the Saudi Arabia narrative is disingenuous. I understand it. The reason why I call it disingenuous is because I think that was the PGA Tour's initial only plan. And because of the success of the competition and getting legitimate players to go to LIV, certainly it was guys who were headed to the Champions Tour initially, but now it's become more legitimate as far as the caliber of younger player. Now the PGA Tour has indeed had to respond. The one question I would ask on Mickelson that I haven't heard discussed a whole lot is, did Mickelson go to Jay Monahan, go to his peers on the PGA Tour and say, this is what we need to do, and then the PGA Tour told him no? Because the way he went about it is the point that I think a lot of people would have an issue with. I still think Mickelson thought he was off the record. I still think he thought he was off the record. Whether he was or not doesn't matter. because it's out there now. But I still think he thought he was off the record. And it was those comments that then made him persona non grata. That was the issue. And now he's gone from a favorite. I mean, the guy won the PGA Championship in one of the most memorable runs in recent golf history. And everybody was thrilled about it. And that was in May of 2021. And now he's a pariah in September of 2022. But some people are going, you know what? What he was saying was right. The question is, could it have been accomplished without giving life to the LIV Golf Tour and without these guys who once were peers and competitors on the golf course now having to be competitors in a courtroom?
And I think Phil has said that at many player meetings that him and other players have spoken up about things that could be done differently. We need to do this, he said, but they never listened to us.
Well, I was not aware of that, if that's the case, because in listening to the interview with Mitchell, he said the thing with Mickelson is if he would have went to him and they said no, then I'd be more supportive of it, but he didn't go to them. And what the PGA Tour essentially had to do with that meeting with the 22 players in Delaware before whichever event that was, BMW, I think, the BMW stateside, not the one that's going on this week, was this is a lifeline. This isn't like, okay, how do we make more money? If we don't do this, the PGA Tour is going to cease to exist. So you went from dismissing LIV to now going, okay, we've got to make these changes. And we've got to create events where the fields and the fans know who's going to be playing. That's one of the issues with the PGA Tour right now. A guy can just WD, can just withdraw and, what can the event do? So now they'll know what events will have the strong fields. And it will also still have the opportunity for the bubble player, like a Keith Mitchell, for example, or let's say Nagel gets it going, Adam Long, whomever, locally can ascend to play in those elevated events. So I like what they're doing, but yeah, would they have done this without LIV Golf? No. And I don't even know how you can interpret it otherwise. So the PGA Tour is upping its game because of competition, just like every other business,
Competition is good. Competition is good for all. All the golfers are now making more money. It hasn't even been a year. And look at what they've done to the Korn Ferry. Look at what they've done to, these specialized events for the top 50, top 75 players. Like that, that's huge. I realize the PGA Tour is reluctant to do it, but in terms of the players beefing at other players, man, we just made you $500,000 guaranteed on the Korn Ferry. You have a chance to, play in $14, $15, $20 million purses in those events now.
But the beef isn't with a guy on the LIV Tour and the Korn Ferry. It's if it is Poulter and Horschel. I mean, those are kind of periphery guys, relatively speaking. But like Sergio's won a major and certainly was high profile at one time, and now is Banty and saying, I can't wait to get out of here when he got a ruling that he didn't like, and they're suing. And I think it's the litigation. It's like, you want to leave? I think that is the main element of it. You want to leave? That's cool. God bless. But now you're suing. And that's a different deal. So now you're suing to play in events that you knowingly left. That's why the temporary restraining order that Gooch and Swafford, and again, I can't think of the third one. Iggy, do you know the third one who was on that suit? They would have been in the FedEx Cup.
It wasn't Matt Jones, was it?
Yeah, I think it was actually. And he won at the Honda in 20, I think. Yeah, or 21 maybe, and him won.
Matt Jones.
Yeah.
That the judge just threw that out. It's like you knew you were not going to be allowed to play in this thing. But there is going to be a trial, and that's going to be a huge moment because that will determine the world golf ranking points, and that's how you get into majors as of right now.
Yeah, I think their other problem is that I think Horschel said it, that you all talk about, we like the LIV Tour. You don't talk about the money. You talk about, but we get all these weeks off, and we only got to play 14 events. We can spend time with our family. But here you have a week off, and you're all coming over here to play.
Tim, you've changed your tune on this. TMA laughed and ridiculed LIV. I am not, TMA. There's 5 people here. What I continue to say and will continue to say is they don't have a television partner. They don't have sponsors. And if you have other information, I will consider that. But what I continue to talk about is what network is going to take it on. Because you know what happens with the network if they take it on. See, it's different for individuals. Individuals who are wealthy can go, all right, light me up on Twitter. I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter to me. You're going to still be in your hovel, and I'm going to be and take your pick of whatever better place to live. And if that makes you feel better, then light me up on Twitter. I am rich and you're not, so F off. But when
corporations, especially publicly traded corporations, then deal with boycotts. If it's Fox, if it's NBC, if it's CBS, if it's Disney with ESPN and ABC, and now you have boycotts, and then the sponsors who would then produce the revenue for these television partners by buying time on Live Golf, deal with boycotts or pushback. They just don't want to deal with that. So
I guess it's a matter if they even need sponsors. If they're making so much money from the oil business, they don't need, need sponsors.
But that's the thing that I wonder about this whole thing is where are they making their money?
Obviously, I think somebody said it that at some point the Saudi government has to make some money off this.
It's some point.
Maybe not right now, but at some point they need to make money. They can't just keep throwing money at players and have none coming in.
Now, for me, right now, it was almost eye-opening. I was playing with a guy, and I won't name the person's name, but also the two separate people here in the last week go, who do you like this week in golf? And I go, well, they're not playing this week. He goes, no, the Live event, the thing in Boston. And I go, I haven't watched a second of that. I couldn't care any less. I have no interest. And I'm not condemning it. I just am not interested in it. But at the same time, I'm not like sitting there with my, excitement over the 3M. If Nagel's in it or if Adam's in it, or if I have a daily fantasy team locked in or I have a bet, then I'll watch it. But I'm not like excited about it.
I watch it all day Sunday.
But these people said, oh, I love watching it. Now you're watching on YouTube. That's where you're watching. But again, there's people watching, and then there is an actual business plan.
Yeah.
And until you have a television partner, and you can say, well, people can watch it on YouTube. The olds only need television, and that's cute, and it'll get you some likes on Twitter. But you need money, and the money comes from the television partnership, and the money comes from sponsors. Because right now the money is coming from this investment fund, which is, of course, well noted, the Saudi investment fund. And at some point, an investment fund isn't there just to piss money away. You would expect that there would have to be some semblance of a return on investment for all of this money that they've doled out to these guys to get them in their fields. But my question is, and I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm telling you that from 35,000 feet, if you are a network, publicly traded company, if you are an advertiser, it's a lot different than Ian Poulter going, I'm 46 years old and I've already got whatever he's got in the bank, probably $50 million, and I'm going to go get whatever he got in addition to go there. I don't know, probably another $50 million. And now people hate me on social media, but I'm hanging out with my family, and for the most part, the people I associate with really don't give a damn, so I don't give a damn. I'm going to go make another $50 million. It's a different decision for Fox or for NBC or for Disney or for CBS. And it's a different decision than the next domino is for the people who would fund the advertising on that, because that's when you're going to get into. Now, maybe there won't be pushback on it. And then if there isn't pushback on it, and if it actually gets ratings, and Iggy, you were watching it, another person who I play with a good amount, and a person who's involved in golf was talking about watching it and really enjoyed it, maybe people will maybe the advertisers and the networks will just get past it and it won't matter. And at that point, then they have a business model. Right now, they have guys playing 12, 14 events and on teams that, so far appear to be rather hackneyed, both the business model and the team concept.
My problem with this, too, it's just the absolute hypocrisy on social media and everything. It's just so, you're supporting, you're a 9/11 terrorist sympathizer as you're tweeting it from your iPhone and wearing your NBA jersey and wearing your Jordans. Like, ABC and Disney and like Apple, they all have shady business deals like in China, like that's open and public, and everybody seems to be supporting them just fine. So like, where do we draw a line? And like, you can't move the goalpost of what you support and what you don't and try to backtrack about 20 plus PGA Tour sponsors have direct ties to Saudi money. Oh, well, to me, like either you're all woke or you're not woke at all. It is so hypocritical what the takes that I see from people. It's asinine.
Well, this is change. And a very wise man once told us, change is good, change is hard. The opposite side of change is the golden goose.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
like to say this will be the end of me watching ABC and Disney when it's, I'm not going to throw conspiracy theories out there or anything, but clearly there are things happening in those companies that probably aren't very on the up and up. And now that this is, the Live Saudi thing, that's going to do it. I just don't like the hypocrisy of it all.
Respectfully, Tim, I disagree. The billions or tens of billions that the Saudi government can spend to successfully sport wash their reputation is worth infinitely more than all the biggest television deals in the world. We really don't understand how badly this state wants to legitimize themselves on the world stage. It is worth a limitless amount of money to them. That's from Kevin's brother, Jack Demoff. Yeah, and if they don't care about return on investment, then he is 100% right. I have personally not ever experienced anything like that. Even, some of the things that we've experienced eventually got to a point where they go, God, we're running out of money. Didn't expect
different operation over there.
Yeah, but if you have
money.
limitless oil money, that's a different deal.
Yeah, that problem, man and the woman. I went for the money, and then they ran out of money.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, that wasn't a Saudi-backed fund there.
I don't know who that was backed by. At some point, though, and I won't compare it to Augusta, because Augusta's a different entity. When you had the Martha Burks, or whatever her name was, boycotting because no women were members, and they just said, do what you want. We don't care. We don't care if we have sponsors or not. We'll put a woman in when we want to put it in, not because you're telling us to. And if these companies want to stand up to it and say, okay, fine, but we have no proof that any of these people in the Saudi government who's backing this had anything to do with 9/11. 22, 23 already sponsors on the PGA Tour have dealt with Saudi Arabia. Go ahead, we'll talk about that, but we think it's a good product, we're going to do it. I don't know if there's any of these big companies that would go that route and screw with it and say, it's not even worth it. But at the same time, if they do have unlimited funds and say, we can go 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we don't care, we don't need to make any money. But if you're doing it for sports washing, they've been doing it for 10 years now, and they're pretty much part of every organization in the country. And if it hasn't worked yet, for people to say, you know what, they're not that bad of a country, it's not going to happen. So how long do they continue to do that?
Yeah, I can't imagine that it will work. But that's in our opinion.
I'm with Doug,
Their opinion
though.
may be different.
6 or 8 more high-profile golfers, and the PGA Tour are pretty close to done. I mean, that's how close it is.
Or at least losing a lot of its popularity.
Maybe not done, but
Which then impacts its revenue. It always, everything you have to, but everything comes back to money. Everything comes back to money, sex, or religion. Everything. I don't find anything that's separate. And from this operation, PGA Tour's issue is if you continue to lose players, then it dilutes their ability to generate sponsorship dollars. So that's and then potentially television ratings. But then I keep going back to Live Golf needing a television partner. You can talk about YouTube all you want. I watch everything on YouTube. I sit there and I the only reason I have Spectrum is to watch the Cardinals games, and the effing thing buffers the whole damn time. It's over. That game is it's over for the younger. Jackson, when's the last time? Do you even have a cable provider? Or?
No.
Yeah, I mean it's just not. So I get the YouTube thing. And I understand it. And it's fun to make fun of old people not understanding. And I get it. It's wonderful. Get your likes. But as far as actually making money, you need to have either a television partner that is mainstream in mainstream in the United States, so Sky Sports isn't going to cut it, or an ability to monetize the YouTube partnership so that it can provide some semblance of television revenue, and then get to a point where corporations are comfortable sponsoring the events. And then you actually have a business model. At this point, it's just the Saudi government pouring money in with no return. My God, can you imagine what the P&L looks like? But if their P&L is going, we don't really care about profit, all we care about is sport washing, then there
For them,
you
it's
go.
a public relations expense.
Right, yeah. So it's a nice little write-off for PR. We got a break. It is 9:21 in St. Louis. Your thoughts are welcome by texting in 314-881-TMA5. You're also welcome to email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email. Today we close out the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour and have the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour coming up. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalitas. TMA listeners know that Rosalitas Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalia's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalia's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 7, and let Rosalia's cater your next event. Check out rosaliascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalia's.
This is Tim McKernan. I'd like to tell you about a company I started just a couple of years ago and I still own. And it's called Sound Story. It's essentially a 1-hour interview that we do either in person or via Zoom with mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They come in and they tell their stories, education, growing up, and of course, family stories, the wisdom that they can share with their loved ones for generations to come. It's an audio heirloom. It's Sound Story. To learn more, go to mysoundstory.com.
Doug Vaughn here, along with the home loan expert, Ryan Kelly. Ryan, I know you have been a longtime supporter of the military and trying to make things easier for them and more affordable for them to buy a new home. How's that going?
It's going really well. You know, I grew up in a family full of military. You know, my father, his brothers, I can keep going, but a lot of military in my family. I unfortunately did not serve. In my early 20s, I was doing other things, selling homes and getting into the mortgage industry. But then we sat back about 10 years ago and I said, what can we do to really help our brave service members and their family, our retired veterans, active service? What can we do? We can make the VA loan a lot better because the VA loan is one of the best benefits of being in the military. But the problem is nobody good was doing them. No one really cared about them. These banks were taking months to close them. We've changed the game on that. In fact, we close VA loans in 21 days or less. I personally pay for your appraisal and we can help you with all the VA paperwork. If you're VA eligible, let's talk about a refinance. Got questions about the VA loan? Ready to get pre-approved? Visit HeroLoan.com. That's HeroLoan.com, the only way to VA.
If you are a commercial property manager, property owner, small business owner, or are involved in operations, listen up. Engineer Design Facilities has become the #1 commercial fire alarm service provider in the market. EDF's goal is to not increase your operating budget, but rather decrease it, and at the same time service your business's commercial fire alarm needs with the most experienced and competent technicians this region has to offer. Make sure your building is up to code. Email fire@edf-rg.com to schedule your systems evaluation today. That's fire@edf-rg.com.
The Classic Car Show and Concert, September 25th at the Factory in Chesterfield, with performances by Jackal and Stephen Piercy from Ratt. Tickets for the concert on sale now. Got a classic car you want to show off? Vehicle registration is open now. The Classic Car Show and Concert, a day of fun for the family and a night of rock.
Find out how to get tickets at thefactorystl.com.
Deagle Truck Center has been the St. Louis area's go-to medium-duty truck dealer since 1933. Deagle Truck Center is a union shop looking for technicians and bodymen for both their Hazelwood and St. Louis locations, offering the highest rates of pay in the area, plus benefits. An authorized Hino and Isuzu dealer, Deagle's friendly and knowledgeable staff is prepared to make sure you have the best experience. Stop by the Hazelwood location to see their large selection of pre-owned inventory. Visit DeagleTruckCenter.com to learn more. That's DEGEL truckcenter.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Get the TMA mobile app and enable notifications so you don't miss a thing. See our content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Stream us on the TMA mobile app and at TMASTL.com.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Join the Ryan Kelly Morning After, September 22nd at Maggie O'Brien's in Sunset Hills for the night before the sold-out Lemmings Open pre-party. It's a night of TMA Live from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Join your TMA favorites as the guys host a wing-eating contest, trivia, and plenty of games. Get $16 domestic bucket specials, and don't miss their house specialty Reuben rolls. It's a free event brought to you by Mick Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. And Munganast Acura and Toyota, better than ever for you, their customer.
You can get an insurance quote anywhere. Ask yourself, what is my provider doing for me? Do I have to hit prompts? Do I have to deal with chatbots? Am I put on hold? Is it always a different person? Are they local? Are they proactive in the community? Do they represent the #1 provider of auto and home insurance in the U.S.? The James Carlton State Farm team is comprised of individuals right here in your neighborhood. We are out supporting our Blues, Cardinals, Bills, and Tigers. Do something new in 22 and kick the out-of-town companies to the curb. Give us a call or go online to carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton Carlton, State Farm.
KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Your home for the morning after and TMA all day. Stream us live at youtube.com/TMASTL and at TMASTL.com.
I'm as moist as a freshly baked Betty Crocker cake.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Seat or your favorite mass. Trick or treat.
Mark said he wanted bangers.
Yep, you got a banger. The Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. Maggie O'Brien's is where we'll have TMA Live the night before the Michelob Ultra Lemmings Open. That's going to be Thursday, September 22nd at Maggie O'Brien's. Michelob Ultra's presentation of the Lemmings Open on Friday, September 23rd. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. And Mark Hanna joins us on the Steve Schmidt Kia of North County phone lines. Good morning, Mark.
You should have let that banger breathe.
Yeah, you know what? We did an hour and 45-minute 7 o'clock hour, and so I'm running behind today. So I couldn't let it breathe, even though it might be my favorite Acoustic Sessions jam.
I'm going to go download it on Spotify next, listen to it all day long.
I'll email it to you on an MP3.
Yeah.
Thank you. A little bit serious today, guys. I hope to lighten things up a little bit. As I was telling Jackson, my whole world is a good time. So let's bring that energy right here on the show.
You have a good time investing people's money? Is that it? You must.
Every single day, making sure that you're squared away, that you got everything set up right. You know you're on track to your goals. Doesn't that sound lovely?
It does. It does. And someone who hasn't taken the plunge yet, hadn't decided what to do, describe the process, what they do to get connected with you and to get their finances straightened out.
The first conversation is simply understanding what you're thinking, what are your concerns, how can we help, where are we going to go with the process, and then walking through the process. And you know what? A lot of times people will call with a specific question, and if you've got a specific question, we don't need to go through a whole big, long thing. We can have a quick conversation. I can help you address the question and point you on your way. And where we go next, though, is if you do want to go deeper, we have a deeper conversation about the specifics, and then I come up with the strategy. It's what I would be thinking about and what I would be doing if I were in your situation, wanting what you want and knowing what I know. And we look at your whole picture and make sure that you're set up across the board. And it's all designed to be turnkey and easy, and as I describe it, fit into your life but not take over your life. So it starts with a real basic, straightforward 10-minute conversation. And call me 314-889-0503. We can have that conversation.
Doug, I'd like to look at your whole picture.
Well, there's not a big picture there to look at, really.
Ooh, but it's hot.
Okay, that's enough. The dudes will
Clip that off.
And smelly.
Clip that off.
But it's hot.
Yeah. That's Mark Hanna. He's a sponsor.
Okay, yeah, I know.
314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. The ill side of here. Usually he's chirping Iggy, but he just says, I don't work with Mark, but damn is it important to work with someone. That's me. I couldn't agree more with that. But I'd recommend working with Mark.
Oh, he's the
Well,
best.
sure.
We'll be hanging out at the Lemming together, I think, Mark.
Oh, you guys back on there with the treats?
I gotta hang out with you again, of course.
I was brainstorming treats this morning. How are we feeling about Fun Dip?
Are you kidding me? Love
Yeah,
Fun Dip,
that's a
bro.
nice
What
play.
is Fun Dip?
Gimme. Great
Good,
golf
it's good.
course
It's like
food.
good. It's high protein, low carb, right?
It's like a sugar stick you lick, and then you dip it. Oh,
Dick it.
Ah,
Plowhawk just dumped himself.
that's all right.
I think you can say it. I don't think.
But yeah, you dip it in like
FCC.
sugar, and so like that moisture on the stick, grab that.
And you're just licking sugar?
You're just licking sugar on a sugar
Straight
stick.
sugar?
Yeah.
Nice,
That's good
Mark.
for you.
I love the Fun Dip idea.
That's your financial advice, Hansy?
And it's so sexual too. You can't eat it without getting erotic. It's just
That's correct. That is correct.
Finances are about making sure you're taken care of so you can have the rest of your life figured out, whether it be your family, whether it be your sexual escapades with fellow members of the dais. It doesn't matter. You want to make sure it's figured out.
I don't know that there's anything happening with the other members of the dais.
legend.
Okay. Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Thank you, Mark.
See you guys.
All right, thank you,
Evergreen Wealth
Hansy.
Strategies. If you're looking to shave some strokes, may I recommend Family Golf Short Game Area? Might have to go there today, Doug. I don't know. You've been working on your short game. What are you chipping from 25 feet, 50 feet?
Yes, I have been.
And how does it work?
Not
What are you
get- not
using? Are you
getting
using a
anywhere.
56? You using a pitching wedge, a
I hit
gap
'em-
wedge,
I
maybe
hit
a
'em all.
7-iron if you have more green to work with and let it trundle?
I actually
let it
use
trundle?
I've started using my hybrid right around the green.
Oh, how do you do? How's it treat you?
It's good. It's easier to hit
Little
than
bump and
7-iron.
run?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an easier bump and run club.
Yeah, that's a nice play. You're a thinking shot maker.
No one's ever called me a thinking shot maker. I just try to hit the ball solidly every time. That's all.
This
That's
is the
where I
weather
am.
you could go to family golf and like play for hours
Oh,
and not
the
sweat
greatest.
at all. Like
It's the greatest.
unreal.
Just put in some AirPods, listen to this show, and just hit balls, chip. That's short game area. FamilyGolfOnline.com. Great people there. Their new short game area is 20,000 square feet. So picture, say you're at the Dotem or the Lemmings Open. And you're picturing Normandy, which have Normandy's greens are
tremendous,
really legit. I would say the thing at Family Golf is like 5 of those, maybe more. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? Have you been to the Family golf short game area?
It's so sweet.
But then you have all that area around with the bunkers and the. You can chip
I
in
did
and
all
pitch
of that. I hit, I think it was right before our member guest. I said, I'm going to work out a little bit. Hit like a huge bucket of balls for like 2 hours.
Family bucket.
Yeah. And then I went right behind the grass tee areas, and I played out of the rough, played out of the fringe, played out of the bunker. God, it's just, you just want to spend all day there.
It is the best what they have going there. That's where you shave strokes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you shave
Short
strokes.
games.
You polished up your game a bit, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did.
I led us to a second place victory in the par 3.
That is true.
A second place victory?
It's a victory for us. We lost in a playoff to Milton.
Okay.
That damn Mark Milton was texting me about it 2 nights ago.
Still?
I'm all hopped up on pills, going to bed, don't even know what's going on. I see Gary Coleman in my bedroom, and I'm going, my phone's going off. What is it? It's Mark Milton talking about the par 3 again with a picture of Justin Leonard.
Oh, did he win it all? Milton win it all?
Well, his partner did.
Oh, did he get a picture with him and Justin?
Yeah.
Why was Gary Coleman there?
When I get hopped up on pills, I see Gary Coleman in my bedroom.
You were hallucinating.
It's a side effect.
I consider it a perk.
You thought Jameson because he's so small?
Yeah, Jameson's up until 3 in the morning.
Well, Milty got a picture with my parked in the spot.
And you fantasize about Gary Coleman because you like taller men?
Wow. There's so much there.
Gary Cole.
Gary Cole?
Yeah.
Who's Gary Cole?
He played Lumberg.
He did.
In Office Space.
And he also is the photo editor at Playboy.
Yep,
He's
has
in
2
it.
careers.
Is he really?
Different.
My
I
Gary
was like, bro, that dude give me no Playboy vibe whatsoever in Office Space.
No, that's my Gary Cole,
Shocker.
which got a lot of pictures sent to me by women.
Yep.
Wanted me to get him in Playboy.
That's what they're doing now. They're sending
Not
you
now, no.
naked pictures. Could you please get me in Playboy?
Not now, but back in the day, yes.
Like how many women did this?
7 or 8.
Oh, come on, they didn't.
Doug's taking the under, it sounds like.
And one, I got a photo shoot with him.
Wow.
And who was that?
Former girl next door. Where is Wet Pink?
Who was it?
I don't need to get
Why
her
wouldn't
name.
that be public?
I don't need to get
If
her
she
name.
wants to be in Playboy, she clearly doesn't mind if she's public.
Well, she didn't get in Playboy.
What's
so.
the government name?
No, Tim knows who she is. I'm not going to give her name out.
Why not?
Well, Tim knows it's true because Tim knows her. The first time she took her top off,
Oh, yeah.
I said, wow.
Morning, boys. Last night I was having dinner at Fuddruckers in Belnor and ran into Kirk Triplett and Peter Jacobson. Obviously, all 3 of us were super horny. We made our way back to my suite at the Howard Johnson. Next thing I knew, they were servicing each other in the rain shower, and I was relegated to cuck fluffer for the entire evening. I didn't mind, though. Both top 5 cranks. Hope my jaw pops back in place in time for the tournament. That's a Madison Hedgecock, the big bottom of NOCO.
I don't think any of that was true.
And normally he's on the
I don't have any
PGA
proof.
Tour stop hooking up with seniors. Now they're actually in town, and he named 2 of the 76 that aren't here.
Do they even have a Fuddruckers in Belnor?
Probably not.
There's one by Lindbergh and
With Watson
Vianney.
and Watson, and they said closing about 3 years ago, and
Yeah, that's what I
thing's still
thought.
open.
I really like that Fuddruckers. I haven't
Yeah.
had it in a couple decades.
I think there's one
Is it
still
still
by my
like
house.
It's kind of like that Steak and Shake that's kind of open. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze because I'm picturing, nostalgic Steak and Shake, nostalgic Fuddruckers. I guess I got to talk to Madison Hedgecock and Kirk Triplett and Peter Jacobson about it.
Belnor would be a fine location for one.
Yeah, why don't we open one up?
Well, I guess you could apply for a franchise.
Yeah, I think there's one right by my house. It says Indian cuisine, and then right next to it says Fuddruckers.
I actually applied for a Chick-fil-A franchise like 10, 12 years ago.
It's hard, man. It's tough.
I don't know why I did it. I knew I had no shot, but they wrote me back a very nice letter saying they preferred someone with some restaurant and business experience. But I said, "What are you, nuts?"
Yeah, you could have put my name on it.
Yeah, what experience do you have running a restaurant?
Well, they didn't say running; they just said restaurant experience, didn't they?
Well,
yeah, he made salads.
As in operating a restaurant.
Well, just lie.
Well, they don't let just anybody have these franchises. It's not just Chick-fil-A; it's all of them. Most of them, you have to show a net worth. It used to be a net worth of $1 million before they'd even consider you. They don't want just anybody representing their brand.
When did Chick-fil-A start the speedy? They've been around a while.
Plowhawk, it's a great question.
But
I'd be curious. I'm sure there's some articles on it because I remember at the University of Missouri when I was there in the 90s. They had one at, what the hell is that thing? Is it Brady Commons? Is that it, Jackson?
You're eating something, aren't you?
No. I was told that there was a McDonald's right there on Lowry Mall.
Oh, that's not there. It was across from Ellis Library.
Yeah,
was
there was one
Is
right
that not there anymore?
That's Lowry Mall. Yeah, there's no restaurants anywhere there.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Student Union has some, but
McDonald's isn't going to be the choice of a 19-year-old trying to stay in shape. But with that said, Chick-fil-A, and I was like, man, I wonder why there aren't more Chick-fil-A's, and they weren't around.
Yeah.
There was one in there. There was a food court, for lack of a better term. And when you're hiding out from getting your balls hazed off, that would be a nice place to hide out.
You didn't like people yelling at you?
You know what? For whatever reason, it didn't really bother me all that much. I don't know. But since then, they have blown up and become huge. And really, what has transpired, I was reading an article about this relatively recently, that McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, have gone from focusing on burgers to focusing on trying to find the chicken sandwich that gets everybody talking. They saw what happened with Popeyes a couple of years ago, and that is what they're trying to find to compete with market share with Chick-fil-A. So it's been about chicken, which I guess is in part, psychologically healthier than beef. I mean, if you actually do the breakdown, it's not like super healthy relative to, but it's, I guess, maybe
the way chickens are kept too is really nasty.
You think it's
and you're frying it.
You think these companies are worried about quality and diminishing the product because we finally got a Shake Shack here? But you would think something's popular as In-N-Out would want to go as many places as they can, but yet they don't.
I mean, In-N-Out's all over the western part of the country.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
there's so
Whataburger is in the south, southwest.
And you have to find competent franchisees.
Yeah.
That's not easy, I'm sure.
I just think the business model of everybody outside of Chick-fil-A in terms of Burger King and McDonald's is like people just cannot wait 5 or 10 minutes for their food, and that you're put in such a tough spot to where you have the 2.5 minute drive-through time you got to hit, and you got to make sure everybody gets their food, and it doesn't matter about quality. It didn't when I worked at Burger King. It was how fast can we get the food out, because everybody bitches and complains if it takes longer than 5 minutes, and that's the huge problem. And Chick-fil-A just staffs very well. I mean, they have probably 20 or 25 workers that work every single day. Yeah. And you look at McDonald's or Burger King, you maybe have 5 to 8.
And so that's because they pay much more? Is that really what it gets down to?
So I think they have some tuition assistance programs.
Correct.
And they'll give you the 401k. And
you can be upwardly mobile throughout the company where you can actually move up and make a really good living.
Then my question is, and I'm speaking from a complete place of ignorance, not to say that we're going to find the answer here, but then why wouldn't take your pick of whatever other fast food competitor implements the Chick-fil-A strategy?
Because they don't need to. Chick-fil-A is chicken, strictly chicken. So you got to master that and make sure your product is good. Now, McDonald's, Burger King, they have 8 different types of food items. And honestly, they've been around longer. They're established. I think the bottom line is always going to be there for a McDonald's and a Burger King. I think Chick-fil-A is a lot different. They're only open 6 days
Is
a
Burger
week.
King still successful? I don't know.
I don't know.
In terms of, I don't know how you value it. They're still worth billions. Now, certainly, they're probably losing a ton of money.
They're based in England, too, right?
Yes.
English.
I love a Whopper.
Yeah, Burger King is super popular overseas, not popular here.
Yeah, there's a. I don't know. The Steak and Shake's kind of gone. Out of all the burgers I would eat, other than a Culver's Butterburger, I love a Whopper.
Yeah, it charbroiled. If it's cooked within 5 or 8 minutes of your order, it is bomb. But again, therein lies the issue that you can't cook to order at those places because people are just fat and just complain nonstop.
Is that what goes on? You worked at the Burger King, right?
Dude, we were right across this super Walmart. And you would have people with $350 worth of crap in the backseat of their car from Walmart. They're 5 minutes from cooking their own food. And they want 4 Whoppers. And if you wait 5 minutes, man, they go off. They want free apple pie. They want it's just.
I'd rather wait than it's fresh.
Did you ever give them a free apple pie to quiet them down?
Oh, I shut those people up all the time. Whatever you want, just go to hell and leave me alone.
Feed them like seals.
You don't hear that at Chick-fil-A.
Hell no, you don't.
Like I go to Dairy Queen, and if I want, and it's been a while since I've gotten anything other than a Blizzard there, but they used to have this special on like 2 double cheeseburgers for like $3, $3.33, whatever. And they have good cheeseburgers. So I'd go through the line and say, I need 2 double cheeseburgers. And as soon as I got to the thing, it's in the bag already.
Yeah, you're done.
I said, wait a minute. I said, you say you make these to order. There's no way you cook these already. How long have they been there? No, they're fresh. They can't be fresh. You just threw them in a bag
So
before
the
I even
place
got
can't
here.
win. If they serve it fast, you say, wait, you didn't cook it. If they serve it slow, you go, wait, what took so long?
I'd rather wait a while. It's not like McDonald's where they got 9,000 Big Macs in the light.
The difference is, like, when the bag is sitting there, it's never good. Like, you'll have to... waiting actually does mean that they're actually cooking it. Whenever I get to the drive-thru line and I have my food ready before I pay, it is the worst meal I've had that week.
Gentlemen, we're short on time. I really would like to delve into it because I'm curious about the reason why Chick-fil-A is able to implement the strategy. Because for me, part of it, we've had a couple of things, very rare for us, where we're going out of... when we're out during the week, and I'm like, man, I haven't eaten. They had this the last 2 Thursdays, as a matter of fact. I'm like, man, I didn't eat. It's 9 o'clock. The last thing you want to do, at least for me psychologically, and Plowhawk, you always talk about it, having worked in the fast food places, is like be the guy who rolls up. Oh, I had the White Castle guy sigh when
Just leave.
And I did. But I'm like, oh, Chick-fil-A's open. I feel psychologically good about it.
Oh, ain't good. Yeah.
I feel psychologically good about it. Now, I don't necessarily want to eat that at 9 o'clock, getting up as early as we do, but that would be my go-to play. But why can't the other places do that?
Because their hiring process is at least 2 interviews, and you have to either Zoom with,
Chick-fil-A's?
and you have to Zoom with the regional manager. Like it's not.
Is that right?
It's not like you turn in your application and the next day you're hired. You're getting your uniform that week. And that's how. I mean, they have. If you go there, it's a lot of 16, 17-year-old kids. But super polite, super happy, eager to work. I don't know what it is about their pay.
That's what I'm truly curious about. I don't know. I'm sure some people have some answers. Check out Mentality today at lowtusa.com. Go to lowtusa.com. It's FDA's approved testosterone treatment. Board certified physicians who work with most insurance. If you're dealing with low energy, low motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritable, impatient, dealing with anxiety, those are symptoms of low testosterone. Find out if Mentality can be the answer for you by going to lowtusa.com. I went out there. Great process. Easy process. Friendly staff, was in and out within 15 minutes and got the results. And you learn a whole lot about it. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range of testing for your free testosterone, it wasn't fully looked at. Come get checked with us at Mentality. It's lowtusa.com. Mentality, a wonderful sponsor here of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Fistful of bourbon here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. There's a lot of common sense and Western wisdom, like don't squat with your spurs on and always drink upstream from the fan page. And there's also some Western wisdom that's less common, like never steal from a bear what you can't make for yourself, or a twink doesn't know his worth until he's eye-to-eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad. I'm sure There is a good lesson in there somewhere, but there's one lesson that's perfectly clear. Fistful of Bourbon is an award-winning blend of 5 straight bourbons and as smooth as a banker on Friday. Get wise, pick up a bottle A, don't be a damn fool. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. And Stratum Structural Systems. The great Matt Ford, the great Brett Groman of Stratum Structural Systems, online at stratumrepair.com. Think local, think Stratum, and they are local, with an office in Chesterfield, Missouri, and an office in Columbia, Illinois for basement crack repair, foundation peering for settling homes, bowing or rotating wall repairs, basement waterproofing services like sump pumps, interior and exterior drainage solutions, egress window installation, concrete leveling, and downspout extensions. Work with Stratum. When you call 314-620-8153 and let them know you're a TMA listener, you get $100 off your repair project. Stratum Structural Systems, online at stratumrepair.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our design, air, heating, and cooling email.
Okay.
How do you?
I'm fine.
Morning. As I grabbed a few French fries from the 801 Chop House bag, I could tell the dippins he recently deposited into a used helmet recently rinsed of the coagulated cheese and refried bean crust in a public bathroom sink had the perfect viscosity. The fries were seasoned with pink Himalayan sea salt, black peppercorns, and truffle dust, but nothing compared to the accoutrement of the brown waste pond that filled his recently removed Dipey Doug.
Oh.
Taste the rainbow, taste the waste. That's
Okay,
when Deeks
that's
and the
enough.
Pegger out dotem.
Deke Dotem just got himself suspended again. Just got himself, well, I can only put him on probation because I promised Ryan Kelly I wouldn't suspend him. So he has been put on
Yeah, it's really
probation
mattered.
again for a period of 2 days' time. Don't expect that feels real good.
Plowboy was spot on about Liv. Let me say that again. Plowboy was spot on. We can have both. And I can write an email about Iggy being a fibber and Doug being sexy AF. And yes, everybody has a price. But you know what's not for sale? My email of the day. So I think we all know that. I used to have a lot of girls calling me to get them in Playboy. At 9:35 was a bold-faced lie. Is it bold-face or bald-face?
I think
Either
he'd say
way,
either.
it's true, so you're wrong.
Rolled off his tongue so smooth. It's as though he has told a lie before. So if I want to say Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, take Doug's cranium and lick, lick, lick.
Okay.
I'm going to say it. That's from Colin. That's his first name. Spelled Colen. And then the last name is For Sex.
Colin
That one's
for
not even-
Sikhs.
That one's not even subtle. It's
Colin
so
for
blunt.
Sikhs. He's new.
Oh, it's a different pronunciation when it's spelled
Yes.
out.
Colin for Sikhs.
Salutations from across the nation. My step neighbor Hamstrung and I recently started our own radio and leadership lecture series and are looking for a special someone to be our spokesperson. Our qualifications are pretty robust, so we're accepting virtually anyone that meets the below. Are you someone who is so disgusted with revenue-generating activities that they pout and storm out of the studio at the sheer mention of a library that pays their salary? Are you a 30-year radio veteran that's betted 200 to 500 garden apartment women and successfully negotiated a sex trade deal for some Nova Scotian beef? Do you have a few hundred garbage interviews with Hollywood extras that we can call on every week before the show starts and call it something tiny like every Monday, Iggy straight to the web prior to the show starting and then sponsor it?
I believe in it.
That should
If
be
so,
the name.
you'd be a perfect fit. Apply today with an email to negrill111 at AOL.com. Thanks. It's a call from Chicago. How much do you want to bet it's the White Sox? Really, how much do you want to bet?
It was, actually.
Good morning. I had a wonderful
that
time
from?
at the Pitbull. Hold on a
was it?
second. It's a call from Chicago.
okay.
How much do you want to bet it's the White Sox? Really,
Okay.
how much do you want to bet?
Call from Chicago. Chicago's my town.
Edward G. Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
I had a wonderful time at the Pitbull concert by myself. I know I'm 60 going on 95, but I had a great idea. I had an extra ticket to the program and wanted to see if I could lure another listener's wife back to the patio via a free ticket to Pitbull. I come up with a bunch of great ideas like the pink and gray polo and a short TikTok video of Lux in a bowling alley doing everything but bowling. And I pretend like I'm really upset with her. Kind of like when I was bowling coach and I did everything but coach bowling. I need to post a picture of my breezeway to the fan pin that I share with 4 other neighbors, but I'll take it upon myself to set 4 chairs and 2 tables right in the middle of said breezeway, so they have to go out of their way to walk around my setup to go to their doors. Thanks. That's from Dr. Death.
That's right.
Dr. Death.
And finally, there's a little place I know, a little place I'm dying to show, a little place I want you to go. This place is round back and way down low. This place is only for naughty boys. This place is ready for all your toys. This place is just past my bulging hemorrhoids. Come on in, the water is warm. Venture inside and use your whole arm. It's all you can eat. It's such a nice treat. I'll even display it right there on the street. It's a welcoming place, all covered with hair, a coveted spot, and hot guys go there. Pat Benatar and Pat Sajak. Sajak, how's about you pat my butt crack? You need a password just to get nigh? It's no secret phrase, though the password is high. I'm trying to say I'll do anyone. The special place is my butt. Drop by for some fun.
Oh,
Look, it's like the second grade got together for a class project and sent in the email.
Yes. I didn't like it. Who was it?
The JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
P.S. I hope you guys realize that the place I was talking about is my own butt, and if anyone so much as says hello, I'll let them do me.
Oh.
So it was kind of a little postscript.
Oh.
That might have wanted for.
I didn't like the postscript. I'm going to go from call from Chicago. Chicago's my town, see?
Yeah, same here.
Call from Chicago. How much you want to bet? It's the White Sox. Really, how much do you want to bet? Has just won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Unbelievable. Balloon party is coming up here at 10 o'clock. Dan McLaughlin going to join Jackson and I at 10:45. Jackson included the WNBA conference finals in his Sports Center update yesterday, and all hell broke loose.
Congrats, Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Aces ended Sue Bird's career. Doug, your thoughts?
It was a great career, but these Aces are not to be denied.
Yeah.
Sue Bird.
Is she dating Rapinoe?
Yeah, they've been together for a while.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time.
Yep. That's a power couple there. But Sue Bird got a legit college and pro career. Her stats are sick.
One of the goats.
Yeah.
Tell Danny Mac I said hi.
All right. Why don't you tell Danny Mac hi?
Sue Bird.
Well, I could text him, but he's going to be on the air to say Iggy said hi.
What? Just walk down there and say hi.
I want to say something about me before we end the show.
Okay.
Flip that off.
On Pepper and Jeannie, we're going to talk about animals we like as pets other than cats or dogs.
Look, here's the deal.
Mr. Legs calling it.
Well, we can't, I have a sound story at 10:30, a sound story at noon, and I have to do, post-production,
Oh,
too.
Doug,
so,
you have one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
then I
I'm
have one.
back-to-backing, and I need to do a bunch of post-production, so we're going to make it a quickie for P&G.
Okay.
So that is...
What's the other?
lead to a Mr. Legs call.
Turtle? Is turtle going to be one?
Quicker the better
Yeah,
for me.
ferrets smell too much to be in that category. So it'll be a fun topic.
You got to think gerbils live.
We
You
already
can't
have one.
You can't trust somebody with a ferret.
I think I saw ferret was like number 3.
Yes.
Behind cats and dogs.
I think that's because of the
Cats
fur.
and dogs, cats and dogs.
That's because of the fur.
Oh, I
A lot
should
of animals
smell
have
them, bro.
fur.
The smell is unreal.
But the ferret,
It's like a pig.
ferret fur, I think, is worth something.
I don't think people get ferrets for pets so
I
they
think
can
they- I think they
butcher it
breed
and
'em.
sell the fur. We're not a fur trading post anymore.
I think they
Can you imagine
breed them.
in your garage you just have these furs of
And-
your former pets?
Can you eat a ferret? Because then you can eat the meat.
Oh, that's like eating a carp.
Well,
no
you'll
one's
find out.
quite that hungry.
You'll find out on P&G.
What a heavy-hitting topic. And it'll be 5 minutes.
Well, I pulled it out of my ass at the last break.
Just like
It's
my
a heck
gerbil.
of a topic.
Well, why don't you come up with one?
Doug is not part of the Pepper and Genie
Well, then stay out of
roster
it.
at the
Stay out of
moment.
it.
But, if the Saudi government puts enough in front of him, he might start
Right.
doing it.
I'll take oil money.
He was on a couple weeks ago when me and Plowsy did a 30-second Pepper and Genie and signed off, and you heard Doug in the background. That's it?
All right, we're going to head down the hallway, and we're just going to deal with it.
Come and get your whooping.
Pepper and Genie coming up in this studio. Then it's a Sound Story Festival. If you want to be interviewed or want to have your parents, grandparents interviewed by Doug, by me, by Jackson, by Learn. And by the way, Learn and I were texting. We thought for sure that you were going to bring up her watching your cooking show, and you never did.
First thing he said to me this morning was that, so I was surprised.
Oh, but it did come up on the air.
I don't
think it did anyway.
I thought you'd bring it up because she mentioned you. She goes, calling Tim McKernan.
Right, but I mean, I didn't bring it up, but I figured you would bring it up.
No, I was, it was fun that she was in there, and I watched it, and I was excited that she sent me a friend request on Facebook because that's her personal page, and only a certain amount of people get on there.
Nice.
And when she sent me that, I said, "Oh, that's nice of her to do that." But I kind of downplayed it. I saw that she was in there. She said, "It looks delicious," and I said, "Hey, thanks, Lauren." I kind of downplayed it. I don't know.
This guy's playing it cool now,
Oh,
Doug.
you
He's like the
are.
Billy D. Williams of
Well, you got
Facebook
so many
shows.
of them.
No,
You got
but
them
that was
sending you
that was
pictures
her
to try to get in
Instagram. Her
Playboy?
Instagram was taking a video of me doing my cooking show.
Well, Tim, when you're reeling in a fish, you don't jerk it and reel it in.
Right.
Finesse.
She knows. She knows that I love her, and she's the coolest chick I know. So
Look at that, Doug. There it is. Okay. All right, Pepper and Jeannie coming up, balloon party coming up, and a lot of sound stories coming up. Book yours at mysoundstory.com. Time for us to shut it down. For the Plowhawk, Action Jackson, Kenneth Iggy Strode, my brother Kevin, Douglas Elvin Vaughn, I'm Tim McKernan. This closes out the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour and the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
The Classic Car Show and Concert, September.